ברוך אל עליון אשר נתן מנוחה לנפשנו פדיון משת ונחה. ברוך אל עליון אשר נתן מנוחה לנפשנו פדיון משת ונחה. והוא ידרוש לציון
עיר הנידחה
אדמה תוגיון
נפש ננחה
השומר שבת הבנים הבא להירצו כמנחה ומחבת השומר שבת הבנים הבא להירצו כמנחה ומחבת.
הריבון עולם בעולמיה בעולמיה אנו מלכה מלך מלכיה מלך מלכיה
עבד גבורתך ותמהיה שפיר קדמך להגביה. יא ריבון עולם בעולמיה אנתו מלכה מלך מלכיה מלך מלכיה. שיר המעלות בשוב אדוני את שיבת ציון היינו כחולמים אז ימלא שחוק פינו ולשוננו רינה. אז יאמרו בגויים הגדיל אדוני לעשות עם מלך הגדיל
Hey, welcome, Graham. So I do just want to contextualize that clip. That is cult propaganda. It's just very well made cult propaganda. So that's the only reason I used it. I was trying to find something that shows Genesis, but yeah, I mean sometimes the best animations are from the most whacked out people.
High production values.
Yeah, I mean I guess at the end of the day, if you think that your money's going to a good place, you don't care if it's being used to promote absolute, you know, detestable crap.
Oh, okay. I was going a different route. I was thinking you can choose to invest into either fluff or substance, and they're choosing fluff over substance.
Oh no. So that cult, I don't want to get into the weeds of it because not really as important for what we're discussing. But basically, they are a doomsday cult that operate out of I want to say out of Southeast Asia, but they're a Christian doomsday cult. They're actually they've been tied with a murder, or I think a few murders. Like they yeah, again, don't want to get into the depths about it, but this would actually be an interesting topic to cover another time. And definitely remind me, we should bring this up another time, like when talking about doomsday cults or something, because it is really interesting. But just on the off chance that, I don't know, I don't want to direct undue attention unless that's actually the whole purpose of the video. So,
No. The only thing I have to say on that one is pretty much the facts that I observe on doomsday cults are they're effectively zero for all the doomsday cults for predicting the end of the world, but pretty much batting 1,000 for predicting the end of the doomsday cult.
interesting. Yeah, they always predict the end of the world, never their own ends.
Yeah, but that's what ends up happening.
So, so just for some context, so the what we're about to get into tonight is chapter 2 of Jubilees, and so I didn't realize this because I didn't quite get the context of what we're excuse me, I didn't quite get the context of what we're going for with that. I mean, very interesting, very esoteric, but I didn't get exactly where it was going. So that was just the introduction, basically. What we read last night was the introduction, and it was very introductive, but it also doesn't really, it doesn't get us into the paradigm that we're getting into yet. But
it's probably a lot like those biblical structures where you have the introduction, and then you're going to have the exegesis at the end where they have the outro. So
interesting. Yeah, you're probably right. And remember what we were talking about before, the beginning and the end, and how Kara was saying that it's like both, like at the same time.
exactly. And I immediately think of Finnegan's Wake when I think that, because he ended with the same in the middle of the sentence he began with.
Interesting. So, let's see. Before we get started, I just want to see if I can find another video on Jubilees to give a bit of context in case no one, or not no one, in case someone didn't watch the first video, or if nothing else, to give me a break to just make sure I can take care of these things, find everything I need to. So let's see, Jubilees. Oh, by the way, how'd you like the thumbnail?
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I couldn't get all of it in, but I got enough of her face that you can tell that you can tell the creator's feminine, and you also see the kind of like the swirling, the creation of the world almost, and then I don't know, it's yeah, I mean, took a while to try and get something decent, but let's see. So, what were your thoughts on last night?
No, I thought it was very interesting. I can see where they could see that as not necessarily part of Torah, but definitely a companion piece. And it's almost like that should be a fourth category alongside, basically, Torah and Mishnah and what was the other? Midrash?
Wait. So you have Gemara, you have Mishnah, you have Talmud, you
Yeah,
have
the three: Talmud, Mishnah, and what was the third?
Gemara.
Gemara. Yeah, and it's almost like this one should be like almost a fourth category because the others seem to refer to it.
Interesting. Wait. Say that one more time. What refers to what you're saying?
Refer to Jubilees.
Oh, wait. So you're saying that the Gemara and that the Talmud, or that the Gemara
And I'm saying that all of them seem to work as a system, and they don't work as well if you leave like Jubilees and Enoch out.
Oh, definitely. Sorry, I was a bit slow on what you were trying to say.
No. I was trying to say one of the things that became apparent in there is what they were saying all along, what so many people say, where this was an essential book to the people back in the, time of the early Roman Empire and before. And it's, the fact that it's not as included these days in the scholarship is a hole.
So, sorry, I'm also my attention is split between two places. Just last part one more time.
Oh no, it's just that it's a glaring hole in today's scholarship and education on Jubilees as not being an essential part, as much of an essential part of that early, say 200 BC to 500 AD time period.
So you've got to hear Neil's theory on this. I'm not going to do it justice because at the end of the day, I'd just be reading off what he said. I invited him to come on. He's busy editing some videos, but maybe he'll have time to talk about it at some point because this is really interesting. But I feel like it's his. I don't want to spoil it. But anyway, so yeah, I think that it's definitely something that, so actually this is a perfect time. So what you were saying about how you basically can't deal, or like you can't look at it without this context, right? That's what you're saying, kind of?
Exactly.
Okay, so there's a video that I've shown before, and I'm going to show it again, and we're going to see it in a completely different light. It's just like the same idea how you can read the Torah each year, and you're going to read something different each year. Even though you're reading the same words, you're going to understand different things. So let me find where I had this video. So this is honestly,
I was going to say I could definitely vouch for that with Kabbalah because I definitely did a cursory study of it in my 20s when I was about your age, and I'm definitely getting a very different reading of it now when I'm much older.
Fascinating. Okay. Now I just need to find the actual clip. I thought I had it pulled up, but maybe I didn't. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. 1 second. So let's see, where was it? Okay, here it is. So, and it's entirely possible that the reason that this showed up was purely just because I've seen it before. Because it says, was it previously watched, and all these videos I've seen before. But yeah, so this video, this was from 1 month ago. Now think of it in a different context. They're celebrating the Jubilee, and it's like something that, I'm sure that they know about it. It's just not something that's like talked about. It's not like some secret or anything. Anyone can look up and see that's the year of the Jubilee. It's something that's kind of like, it's very under the surface. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's something, it's like part of the fabric that you don't notice, sort of like fish in water sort of thing. And it's like it's that reef you swim by every day or every so often. Is that a good analogy?
Sorry, one more time.
I said it's sort of like, fish in water. It's like something you drive by all the time. It's part of your everyday life. You don't notice it, but it's important.
Interesting. It's maybe like okay.
Like the people, say the people of Giza with the pyramids right there. At some point, you don't notice them.
So here's what Neil said. He said for me to just say it. So, he said. So he said, what was it? Jubilee, bro, 7 times. Or wait, hold on. No, wait, what is it? Oh, wait, 7. Saturnian year. And I also said that I told this to Amon, and he wasn't able to find any parallels in, like, Saturnian traditions, which means this is something that's probably originating in Semitic tradition, which is really interesting because I think that shows how the idea of Saturn isn't just like, it's not just Greek or it's not just, Roman, but it literally, you have the same concepts, together with like El and Elohim. Literally, that Bina, which is associated with Saturn, is the planet that, or the Sephira, which is associated with like Elohim finally becoming like a manifest entity as opposed to just, an unmanifest creator. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm following you.
All right, so he said Saturn takes 29.447498 years to orbit the sun. We can expect some kind of conjunction of Saturn with Regulus every 29.5 years. Each conjunction is part of a very long series with 59 years between conjunctions. The series starts and ends with single conjunctions, at least one of which happens too close to the sun to be seen. 2 of these run in parallel, offset from each year by half of 59 or 29.5 years. Each series includes 10 to 13 conjunctions, or about 12 on the average, making gradual transition from single to double to triple and back again. A 12 conjunction series includes 4 to 5 triples in the middle and takes 707 years to complete. On the average, for triple conjunctions of Saturn with Regulus, there's one about every 70 to 79 to 80 years. For Saturn, we find the very interesting potential for its cycles to mark out periods of 3 Jubilees in length. Saturn's pattern is made up of 2 59-year cycles offset from each other by 29 or 30 years. So 2 triples of Saturn in the opposing series can be offset from each other by 59 plus 29 plus 59 equals 147 years, which is 3 times 49 years, or 3 Jubilee cycles. Also, if the sabbatical year at the end of one Jubilee cycle is marked by a triple conjunction of Saturn with Regulus, the Jubilee year that comes 6 Jubilees cycles plus 1 year later can be marked by a triple conjunction of Saturn with Regulus. And similarly, the Jubilee year that comes 9 Jubilee cycles plus 1 year later can be marked by a triple conjunction of Saturn with Regulus. Just in general terms, none of these are sure things because Saturn's cycle permits some variation in where the triples fall, but it's possible for the triples to be arranged in these ways. My suspicion is that when we see these variations in precisely where Saturn's triples fall, what we're seeing is the influence of the invisible planets, perhaps primarily the planet Uranus, which is, would be correlated with like the highest sphere, using their pull to slow down or speed up Saturn's progress and create these subtle shifts in its patterns. Then he said, guess what? Jubilee is the metric that marries the number 3 and 7. It's 1/3 of his Saturnian revolution. And so then he, what's this? For Saturn, we find the very interesting potential for its cycles. I think it's one of the things that you sent before. But yeah, this is really interesting. What do you think of that?
No, I think that's brilliant. I think he's got an enormous find there. It's the one thing that I notice is that 777 cycle to Regulus. That would be true of any star that Saturn occulted, which makes me think of why is Regulus singled out.
Interesting.
Because you could say the same thing for, say, I don't know if Saturn happens to occult Sirius, but if it does, that would be, it would be a 777 with occulting a Sirius as well.
So another thing that's interesting about this, and here, let me just.
Oh no, that was the other one. Before they get that done, I want to say this more to Neil, is Ariel and I found the linkage between 3 and 7 in the Kabbalah. You have the group of 3, the 3 mothers, and then you have the 7, the 7 double aspirated letters with the 7 dualities of perception. So that's a direct linkage between 3 and 7. So you need to look at how that links together here as well, because there's a good possibility that there's some sort of functor that connects what Neil found there with what you and I found through the Sephira, the book the other day that we've been working through. So we could have different pieces that link together pretty well.
it's interesting though, because I think that this type of scholarship is really important, because if the only people who are saying that there's a connection between, God within, I mean, to be fair, God within any context, like even the idea of a Christian God, it's inescapable. But basically, if you're like the whole parallels between like Saturn and God within Judaism and God with it, and again, not necessarily Saturn as the actual figure, but more so the archetype. But
Right.
but it's just interesting because the people who try like you definitely see it amongst very like fundamentalist and hate-filled people who they want to say that because there's some like symbolic connections that means that somehow Jews are evil. It's completely ridiculous, and I think that's part of the reason why the people doing that scholarship and like doing the it's like basically if they find something that's true and they're the only ones saying it, they can twist it however they fucking want.
Oh no, absolutely. That's the thing is you're linking the truth, and the because that you're linking it to has nothing to do with that truth. You can say 2 + 2 = 4, therefore Jews are evil.
Well,
You can say that, but that's not an effective statement. You know what I mean?
To be fair, the people we're dealing with would be more likely to say 1 + 1 is 3, therefore Jews are evil.
That's fair, but I don't think they'd argue too much with 2 + 2 = 4 with Jews being evil. I don't think they'd argue too much.
Yeah, the point is they just want an excuse to say that the people they don't like are not good.
Exactly. No, and that's my point is the first part is a blank, and if they can fill in a truth into that blank, so much the better.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, yeah, watch this and just think of it in the context of the Jubilee year, because it's
okay. Before you start that, I wanted to say what you said about this sort of scholarship versus the other. I see it as more of creative, expansive scholarship versus restrictive, more the double checking scholarship. It's fine to try to find connections, but then people need to double check to make sure those connections actually hold some water. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
This is awesome. So Arnobius of Sicca, Religious Conflict and Competition in the Age of Diocletian, Chapter 7, The Supreme God and Saturn. So this is what I think Neil was quoting it from, and I think I can get access through my institution. So awesome. Yeah. But anyway, so here, check this out and just think of it in the context of the Jubilee year, because I feel like that was something that we really missed out. Also, like, so I mean, obviously a gala, that's nothing special. There's plenty of galas every year, but, and I mean, they probably, to be fair, I think they have like these get-togethers every year, so it's not like there's anything specific, but I do just think about it in that context, though, even if that's not a specific context.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I mean, we already saw that, so I just want to show a bit of this. But here, so another thing that I didn't even think about till now. So, so do you know where you know about the headquarters of Chabad?
Nothing specific about it.
So, like it's called by what its address is. but its address is 770.
Okay.
And does that ring anything? I mean, like because like it definitely does have like for instance, 77. There's so much meaning to that within Jewish context, but also just a lot of contexts.
No, I get it. It's like I remember when DC Comics had it was 666 Park Avenue in New York.
But yeah.
No, I like the little Playmobil type figures there. Those are cool.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even realize that.
Little work, little play. I'm gonna slay today, and nothing can stand in my way. We're all just here in the same grind, trying to get.
Look at that. Hasidic graffiti.
That's a little bit hipster.
Yeah.
Street art.
Yeah. See that graffiti over there?
Yes.
So you had a lot of hipsters moving into the community here in Williamsburg, but there was a lot of tension, as you can imagine. But I noticed there was one thing that united us, Hasid and hipsters, the facial hair, the beard. So I made an event called Unite the Beards. We made a logo, half the face was Hasidic, half the face was hipster, and we gave out t-shirts with that logo, and on the back it said, open your mind. Hasid and hipster not as different as you think. And then once I started that thing, I started, hey, let's open up the doors of our community. Before I know it, people from all around the world, instead of going to Ellis Island and Statue of Liberty, they were coming behind the usually very closed doors of Hasidic Brooklyn. Welcome to the Hasidic Hat Store. Is he a bar mitzvah boy?
He's 13.
He's 13. So when I was 13, it's a big thrill. You get to come here and you get to wear one of these black hats.
You get to hang out with Mr. Rodder.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Sometimes I don't even need a hat. I'll come in and buy one anyway.
Just to hang out with Mr. Rodder. I'm so curious to see how you would look in a hat.
All right.
You want to try it on?
Let's do it.
Oh my God.
Need a hat. I'll come in and buy one anyway.
Just to hang out with Mr. Rodder. I'm so curious to see how you would look in a hat.
All right.
You want to try it on?
Let's do it.
Oh my God, look at that. Any questions for the rabbi? Okay.
It's official. I look good.
Yeah, we have the conversion papers in the back. Welcome to 770 Eastern Parkway, the world's most famous synagogue. Have you ever been inside a Hasidic synagogue before?
I have not.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
When the movement came here in 1940, escaped Nazi Germany and Poland, and they had to reestablish Hasidic life. So it all started off in this small room, and then you'll see as the movement expanded over the years, they had to expand into a much bigger synagogue.
When I was a child, I was born in 47.
Wow.
So I remember the synagogue when it first came out in the 50s, early 50s. I was a little boy running around. Only a few boys then was after the war, and not many survivors. The synagogue, I was born in 47.
And then you'll see as the movement expanded over the years, they had to expand into a much bigger synagogue.
When I was a child, I was born in 47.
Wow.
So I remember the synagogue when it first came out in the 50s, early 50s. I was a little boy running around. Only a few boys then was after the war, and not many survivors. We were a small group of boys.
How much of the life you guys live today is authentic to its roots, and how much evolved since 1940, since this place started?
We embrace technology here because we view any means of technology as a way of connecting and spreading the good word and about purpose and uniting the world. So it's pretty much very strong to its roots, but obviously there's certain elements which have evolved, primarily in the technological range. This is one of the coolest rooms in this building. It's called WLCC, which stands for World Lubavitch Communication Center.
Okay.
And basically when the Lubavitch Rebbe, the leader of the movement, spoke in the 1970s, people around the world, including Brazil, wanted to hear what the Rebbe was saying, but we didn't have Facebook or WhatsApp in those days. So a young Israeli boy started tinkering with a few wires, a few safety pins and some duct tape, and he created this masterpiece. Here is the rabbi himself,
Wow.
Rabbi Chaim Baruch Halberstam, and he'll show you
What
around.
an honor.
Through telephones, people had hookups and they were able to listen live.
Coming from someone who is awful with technology. I'm in awe of your skills.
The Torah teaches us to use our head logically. And once you had things logically, everything is possible.
Look, and here he is. This is a picture taken back. This one's in 1977. There's the rabbi sitting in the same chair. He hasn't moved in almost 50 years.
You look even more handsome now.
Well, they tell me that I used to be young and beautiful. Today I'm just beautiful.
That's wonderful. So nice to meet you.
Spread goodness and kindness.
I will. I won't forget you.
Keep it up.
Every religion has, a place that is considered the epicenter of that community. Why is a place like this so crucial for your religion?
This is where it all came from. This is where it happened. People come here, they feel it.
It's mind-blowing. It's amazing.
The heartbeat of the Jewish world.
Yeah.
We're actually taught in the holy books that kedusha leizazam imkaima, that holiness never leaves a place. This is where the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the most famous, popular Jewish leader of the 20th century, for decades sat here and taught us this philosophy about going out to the world and spreading through acts of goodness and kindness and uniting and welcoming people. So once it happened here, that shows that this place now became a beacon.
I'm getting chills from this, but so what are you saying? Acts of goodness and kindness. That word is gimilut chasadim, and remember how chesed is connected with gimel.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like that. That's kind of like basically it's almost like you could imagine that Jewish tradition is like a guitar, and Kabbalah is kind of recognizing the strings for what they are and learning, or kind of like recognizing that. It's almost like being able to kind of, you know what I mean? It's almost being able to see kind of like the notes behind the music.
Yeah. You're talking the whole metaphysics behind it. You're in that whole where it's connected. It's one great analogy you had that where you pluck one string with another. Another one is the idea of what I was talking about, with the idea of like pipes with the energy flowing from that one. You have the Indian tradition of Indra's net, where every point reflects every other point. And no, these are definitely strong, deep, mystical images we're dealing with here. Good call on that one, Ariel.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's so strange because I mean, frankly, I know myself. Unless I all of a sudden have some sort of personality change, which I really do not see, I don't think I'll ever be Orthodox. But for whatever reason, I feel such a strong connection to the Orthodox community. It's hard to explain.
Well, it's hard to not respect them. They're so genuine and so in touch with themselves. And, it's like for me, I'm entirely on the outside. It's like all I can do is just sit there and just admire them for what they are.
Yeah, it's just, I guess what I mean is like I feel totally comfortable with them, but I kind of also don't feel like I can fully be my authentic self, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, part of it is you can't be, because in order to be like that, you had to have been born into that and lived that your entire life.
Well,
and you haven't, but you're still drawn to that culture. So it's like, I know that feeling.
Well, but that's not actually true. Do you know about the whole concept of Baal Teshuvah?
Not off the top of my head. I might know the idea once you explain it.
All right, I'll just put up a video about that because it's basically it's what I don't know. It's hard to explain. Well, it's easy to explain and hard to explain at the same time. But here, let's finish this.
Of light, because there's holiness in this room. That's the whole purpose of life. Going beyond the dress, going beyond the food, going beyond the music, going beyond the culture. That's really irrelevant. It's us, like what's happening right now.
Alright, so basically, this is what he was talking about. Unite the Beards. That's cool.
Oh, I did want to comment on that.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool where it's like he reduces the conflict by bringing the two sides together for a beard off. I think that's like really cool.
Yeah. Let's see. So
Unite them with what they have in common, sort of that what we've been talking about with the thesis, synthesis, and the Hegelian dialectic, and those beers are the Hegelian dialectic in the community. That's for sure.
Yep. So here's what I was
We're
talking
like tuning forks.
Not this.
It means that we all have the capacity of influencing or affecting everyone and everything that we come into contact.
Okay, we have an online in the room question. Okay, bashful in the room question. After how much spiritual growth can you call someone a Baal Tshuva? Is it always someone had no observance and then took on all observance? For example, keeping Shabbat or kosher? After how much spiritual growth can you call someone a Baal Tshuva? Is it always someone had no observance and then took on all observance? For example, keeping Shabbat or kosher? Or could it be a little things like davening or saying a bracha before eating? And I'll add to that. How about an observant Jew who keeps most of the mitzvahs and just becomes better? Is he a Baal Tshuva?
Well, Baal Tshuva has two levels to it. Tshuva means a person repents for a sin that he did. So any sin that he repents for, he's doing tshuva on that tshuva. We call it a Baal Tshuva. Baal Tshuva is more for a person who did not keep the main laws of the Torah, it's like Shabbos, and now he decided to keep the main law of the Torah of Shabbos. So he's called a Baal Tshuva. He's considered a person who did tshuva in a very broad way. Person who, let's say, keeps the whole Torah, but sometimes he slips and he says in Shabbos, talk something he shouldn't say in Shabbos. And that's what I'm going to drive someplace tomorrow. You're not allowed to say that in Shabbos. I'm going to drive there because you're not allowed to drive in Shabbos. That's what he's supposed to say. But he slips and he's saying, I'm going to drive there. So he does tshuva. So he does tshuva in that little thing. So he did tshuva for that thing. So we call it a Baal Tshuva exactly, but he is a person who did tshuva. So the person who was not religious, put it that way, he becomes religious, is called a Baal Tshuva. That's a major step.
The question was, at what point do they become a Baal Tshuva?
The Baal Tshuva, when they keep the main laws of Judaism, which is Shabbos and Taras HaMishpacha, the main thing of the main laws of Judaism, keeping the holidays and Shabbos, Kashrus. So that makes him into a different type of Jewish person, and now he's keeping the main laws of Judaism that Jews are called Jews by. So when he makes a major overhaul, so he's called a Baal Tshuva. From irreligious to religious. A person who's religious and does tshuva for certain things, he's doing tshuva, but he's not a main overhaul of his life because he was keeping all the laws before. Slip up once in a while, so you do tshuva for it. But you can't say that he's a Baal Tshuva. But a person who's religious becomes religious by keeping the main laws of the Torah, that's called a Baal Tshuva.
So basically, it's this concept of being not religious at all and then becoming religious.
Okay, no, I see what you're saying.
So, what was it that I was looking for? Right.
So we wanted to get into chapter 2.
Yeah, I did just want to find one quick like a 5-minute video on Jubilees that explains. Because the other one explained the context of it. I'm trying to see if we can just get it. This should be good. Keep in mind, take this with a grain of salt.
Here's the deal with SEO on Wix.
I know there are people who have questions about the Book of Jubilees in a number of places. One is about the Jubilee calendar. It's a place that a lot of people are concerned with. They're concerned about this verse concerning Shabbat, and they say, well, this adds or contradicts the Torah. And there are a number of other issues. A person that is referred to in Jubilees called Mastema. And people wonder, Mastema, is that Satan? Where did this name come from? And so on. And you have to keep a couple of things in mind. One is that, first of all, there has been a loss in translation. Okay, you have to keep this in mind, that there has been some loss in translation between what we had from ancient texts. And Jubilees is a text that is very ancient. This book preceded the book of Joshua because it has no knowledge beyond the crossing of the River Jordan. In fact, it doesn't even include the River Jordan. They get to the River Jordan, and that's where the book ends. So you're talking about a book that doesn't know about Joshua's long day and so on and so forth. Whenever you read any scripture, you have to read with discernment. Now, I'll give you an example. In the New Testament that you currently have at your house, it tells you that Judas hung himself. But if you read later on, you'll find out that Judas' guts poured out of him, and he died in Potter's Field. Now, which is it? And some people will say, well, he hung himself and then his guts fell out. Well, okay, that's an explanation. But you have two stories in the same short set of 27 books that appear to contradict one another. If I'm going to say there's errors, I'm going to say there's errors in Jubilees and not in the Torah. And if you're looking for a rigid doctrine that you can adjust yourself to, keep this in mind. Jubilees talks about a 364-day calendar, but that was before Joshua's long day. And when Joshua's long day happened, now I personally believe that at the time of Jubilees and at the time of Enoch, that we had a perfect balance between the sun and the moon. But you have to remember, there was a flood that set this earth in a completely different disposition. I believe the earth continues to expand. I believe the earth is in a wobble right now, and the moon is in kind of a wobble around its orbit. And that we moved into a different disposition during the time of Joshua. And so as a consequence, we have, as a matter of fact, a 365.2 day year. And if you read Jubilees with discernment, you'll see that what Jubilees is criticizing those who would go on to a 353-day lunar year. And the text tells you that what in fact happens is, if you do that, you're going to forever have your planting season moving from March back to February, back to January, back to December, back to November, which is not going to be any planting season at all. And that's what they're talking about when they say you're going to err. So to pick apart Jubilees and say Jubilees should not be read, I think is a major mistake, because Jubilees fills in so many of the things that you don't know about that timing. And Jubilees gives you a specific calendar timing as to when the tribes came out of Israel, as to when they crossed the Sinai, as all of these things were very, very particularized, very poignant, and very to the point. But it's cryptic reading. So the long and the short of it is that read with discernment is what I'm going to say. That read cryptic reading. So the long and the short of it is that read with discernment is what I'm going to say.
So what are your thoughts on that? And then we'll get into it now.
I think his last words were the most important for any of this. Read with discernment. But no, I definitely agree with virtually everything he says. It's
Graham, well, let's not be ridiculous now. You're telling me I'm supposed to read with discernment? It's almost like, wait, so should I do that with everything I read, or should I take it? Should I take the word of the author at face value? Which one's better? I'm completely joking. Yeah.
I can tell. No. Unfortunately, there's the authoritarian approach where you need to read it exactly how the person tells you to read it.
Yeah. So
that's the orthodoxy.
Yeah. So Vayomer Malach Hapanim, and the angel of the presence, or the angel of the face, said to said to El Moshe, said to Moses, Bidvar Adonai Lamor, in the word of the Lord to speak. Bidaber, in the word. So according to Hashem, according to what God said or the Lord said. Katuv b'Sefer Toldot, right? Oh, I think it's repeating the same thing as before, but yeah, Katuv b'Sefer Toldot, right in this Sefer, right in this book of generations, or Katuv, right in the book, the generations of the heavens and the earth, Ki b'Sheshet Yamim, because on the sixth day, Kila, 6 day curtain. What would this be? Kala, finish. So on the sixth day, God finished. Hila Adonai Elohim, et kol malachto. What was this? The Lord God finished. Let's see. No. Kila, finish all of his works. Yeah, all of his works. Asher Barela, so all the works that he had created to do, or that he had created to make. Ubiyom Hashvi'i, and on the seventh day, Shabbat Vayik Dashhu. So on the seventh day, he sanctified it. Let's see. On the seventh day, he sanctified it. Le'olami, for forever, for eternity. Ad vayishmahu, Shama. And he placed leot. He placed to the letter al kol ma'asav. Or no, he appointed it as a sign, because ot is both a letter and a sign. Al kol ma'asav, over all his works. So anything? Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering, is there any significance to the presence aspect of the angel, to differentiate that aspect of angel versus other aspect of angel?
Yeah. So this means there's no way this is talking about some sort of human messenger. This is 100% an angel of the presence. But yeah, that might be actually something to look into real quick, because I'm going to have a little snack real quick. But
Yeah, because I'm thinking presence possibly has some meaning there. The other aspect I'm getting is, again, the 6 days and the rest. One of the things that I'm seeing is sort of an antinomic sort of silence at the end on the seventh, for the Sabbath and the rest, versus the light and speaking into creation at the very beginning.
Let's see. So, trying to think what to look up. So, let's see. Well, unfortunately, okay, wait here. Let's see.
I'll see.
Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of. This might actually be good. This one. Let's see.
I'm seeing. What I'm looking up, I'm seeing analogies to face.
To what?
Face. Faces and face.
Yeah, it's the angel of the face of God, the angel of the face of God.
Okay. So what I'm sitting there and then vibing on is, since God can't really show his face, or this is a mask of God or something like that. I'm not sure. So let's go with that one as face. Well, I'm sure there are other types of angels. I'm just saying that's probably a specific designation there.
Here, so I think I found a good video. Let me just make sure. Where was it? Here it is. And I'll speed this up.
The mind, body, emotions, relationships,
Oh,
sensory.
speak of the devil. Literally, we were talking about him this morning. Or this afternoon, I guess.
Outside.
Angels.
Right, here.
We all love angels. Remember when I was a child, the beautiful image of a white angel protecting us, and things we hear about angels, which is so uplifting and just makes us feel so soft and embraced by something special. I think there are two types of angels we have to think about. In God's creation of the world, he created myriads of angels with all different types of tasks that they have as God's messengers. And each one has their own purpose of what they are here for. But there's another type of angel. And I think this is really where it's very special and for us to understand and know, because many angels we create. Every time we do a mitzvah, every time we do something positive, we create a beautiful angel. And every time, unfortunately, we do something negative or wrong, we also create an angel. And the angel is according to our action. We do something good, we create a good angel. We do something wrong, we create a negative force. And these become forces that surround us all the time. The angels we create become our aura, become a positive energy. Our sages tell us that one mitzvah brings another mitzvah. One sin brings another sin. And everyone asks, why is that so? Every action is separate. Why, if I do a mitzvah, will it help me quicker do another mitzvah? And the answer is, when you do a mitzvah, you create an aura, an angel around you. That all of a sudden it's a good energy that drives you to do something good. Makes it easier for you to do something good. While the opposite, if God forbid you do something wrong, the opposite happens. So a lot of angels is what we create around ourselves. And what's interesting is that most people, when they talk about angels, sort of angels are greater than people. And angels are who we aspire to say they're so pure and special, we'll never be like an angel, and couldn't I be like an angel? But Judaism teaches us that the opposite. The angels, both those that were created by God before, or those that are created through our actions, are all here to serve us. They wait to get the cue from us. We're the ones who lead. And in the path we lead, we're able to create our own angels and bring the other angels that exist to give us power.
It's kind of reminiscent of the story of the fall of Satan fall of Shaitan or Iblis in Islam. You know the story? Grim? Grim?
Back. Am I back? Yep, I'm back.
Yep. So
no, I was going to say what I was picking up on there was reference to where they came up with the idea for the keys of Solomon, because that's the idea that they were going through, is the idea of unlocking those sorts of angels.
But yeah, do you know about the whole story of Satan in Islam? How he fell?
Well, I know Iblis refused to bow to humanity.
Exactly. It's kind of an interesting tradition. I really tend to think that early Islam, before it became all focused on all these different sects and inter-sectarian violence and conflict, I think that Islam has a lot to do with the Ebionite Christian movement, to be completely honest, which probably has a lot to do with the original Christians.
I was going to say, much like Christianity, there's so much that went into the what became Islam. But I definitely everything you talked about were definitely part of the mix.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll continue the video.
Yep.
New strength, a new ability to rise, new energy to be able to go further in our path of life. So we are the center of the universe, us humans. And we are the ones who own our choices, while angels are spiritual robots. They're just there to serve, and they're there to help us in our path of life. But I want to end with a beautiful story that happened with the Baal Shem Tov. So one of the students of the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Hasidic movement, owner of the universe, us humans. And we are the ones who own our choices, while angels are spiritual robots. They're just there.
So I thought he said spiritual logos. It was like a Freudian slip, but with hearing, not with speaking.
Funny.
Yeah.
Who own our choices, while angels are spiritual robots. They're just there to serve, and they're there to help us in our path of life. But I want to end with a beautiful story that happened with the Baal Shem Tov. So one of the students of the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Hasidic movement, desired very much that Elijah the prophet, who had turned into an angel, and we know through the centuries and millennium after he passed away, he had come down to many people in the form of an angel and taught them Torah, the secrets of Torah. And it is said that someone who reaches a certain level of purity and righteousness is meritorious to have Elijah the prophet come down to them. And this particular disciple of the Baal Shem Tov desired it very much, and he read in the books what you have to do. You have to fast for a certain amount of time and other types of things, and he did it all. And Elijah never showed up. So he goes to his teacher and he says, I'm trying very hard to have that experience of Elijah showing up to me, but it's not happening. Elijah's not coming to me. So the Baal Shem Tov told his disciple, as soon as Rosh Hashanah, I want you to go to the next town and you'll find a certain family. They live at the edge of the town. They're pretty poor. Make sure you take some food with you because they definitely won't have enough for you. Maybe you'll have a little left over for them. And spend Rosh Hashanah with them. You'll experience Elijah the prophet. And for this disciple, it meant a big deal because usually, like all the disciples of the Baal Shem Tov, they wanted to be near him on the high holidays. It was the most uplifting experience. And here he was going to give it up. But if he gets to see Elijah, it's all worth it. And he goes to the town. He finds the hut. He finds the family. Poverty he couldn't imagine. Luckily, he had some food and enough that he shared with the family. And he had a Rosh Hashanah experience far from the uplifting experience at the Baal Shem Tov's synagogue. And Elijah never showed up to him. So after Rosh Hashanah, he comes running back to the Baal Shem Tov, his master, his teacher, and he says, Rebbe, you promised me Elijah the prophet will appear to me, but it didn't happen. So the Baal Shem Tov says, you know what, one more thing. Go back before Yom Kippur. Now you know the poverty of that family. Bring a lot of food. They haven't eaten.
Wait, did you say something? Or was that the video?
Be near him on the high holidays. It was the most uplifting.
That was the video.
He was going to give it up, but if he gets to see Elijah, it's all worth it. And he goes to the town. He finds the hut. He finds the family. Poverty he couldn't imagine. Luckily, he had some food and enough that he shared with the family. And he had a Rosh Hashanah experience far from the uplifting experience at the Baal Shem Tov's synagogue. And Elijah never showed up to him. So after Rosh Hashanah, he comes running back to the Baal Shem Tov, his master, his teacher, and he says, Rebbe, you promised me Elijah the prophet will appear to me, but it didn't happen. So the Baal Shem Tov says, you know what, one more thing. Go back before Yom Kippur. Now you know the poverty of that family. Bring a lot of food. They haven't eaten in days. And then you'll experience Elijah. And he goes, buys a lot of food, goes back. It's Erev Yom Kippur, and he comes to the town, finds the hut again. And as he's about to knock on the door, he hears a conversation from inside the small house. And he hears one of the children crying to his mother, 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 I'm hungry. I need food. I haven't eaten for 3 days. I can't survive. Mother, please, crying. I need food. And the mother quiets the child and says, my dear son, don't worry. Just like God sent Elijah the prophet to bring us food for Rosh Hashanah, we are sure and believe that God will send Elijah the prophet again to bring us food before the holiday Yom Kippur. And at that moment, he had an epiphany, and he realized that he, through doing a mitzvah, becomes the embodiment of that angel that he desires to see. So we in Judaism are not looking to become angels. We in Judaism are who angels are searching to cling on to, because we can take angels for a ride that they can never have themselves.
If you like that video, hit the
Wow, you know what's really interesting? That almost reminds me of this. Oh, one second. Shoot. So basically, wait, what was I saying? One second. Yeah. So, yeah, in some ways it almost reminds me of the same idea of, like, for instance, the chemicals that people use in order to affect changes in their mind state. Like, those chemicals don't have any actual agency. They, you know, I mean, you could view that there's entities behind them, but at the end of the day, the chemicals are just the chemicals. But there's this idea that through them, you can affect your experience. And so it's like, without something to experience them, they don't have those effects. They only have those effects when they're actually being used.
Right, right. It happens in the interface between the two. That's why I always saw that nurture versus nature argument as sort of a false dilemma. It's nature. It's nature when it is nurtured. It's when the two meet each other is when things happen.
Interesting. So yeah, let's get back into it. So, let's see. So yeah, hen bayom. They let's see. Hen in this case, them, or was it bayom harishon hen bara? Wait, this is weird. Hen. Interest. This is interesting. So, I might be mistaken about the etymology of this, but let's see. Maybe from. There's got to be other ways that this could be used. Oh, interesting. Okay, so apparently, and I wasn't aware of this, there is a context in which hon or han can be he who, but usually hen is actually they, but referring to a group of feminine people, or, like, a group of women, which is interesting. But I mean, I guess you could read that into a plural form interpretation with a whole aleph mem shin, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, that was sort of where I was picking up on too, that me and ma sort of thing as well.
Yeah, the reason I say that is so hen bayom or han bayom harishon. So on the first day, hen or han bara et hashamayim mim al vehaaretz mehamayim. Wait, vehaaretz mehamayim. So on the first day, he who created the heavens and the earth that created the heavens which were upon the earth and the waters, v'chol haruchot, and all the winds, ha'umdim lefanav, and all those winds who stand before him, and all the spirits which stand to serve before him. Interesting. So here you have ruchot being used as like a here it's not referring to it as, I mean, I guess you could interpret it as the four winds, but this is v'kol haruchot. So this is all of them. If it were four, it would say arba ruchot. So this is interesting. What do you make of this?
No, and that's why I was wondering about the significance of the angel of the presence in the first one, because it seems like he's creating a whole bunch of angels here.
Does he even say he's creating them, though? I think that's another point.
Oh, I was going to say I was getting that sort of from the field. I was saying he created. What would be the word if it's not created?
Here, let me check in a moment. I just wanted to send this invite to Kara in case she doesn't know we're live. Because I think she'd probably have some interesting thoughts on this. But
Yeah, because one of the things I'm also kind of grokking on is the idea of we're not talking about the normal earth and waters like we experience, but this is that higher level one, like we were dealing with in the book we were working through.
So, something to point in. You're right. It is a creation of the of all those things, including all the spirits. One second. Sorry, one second.
No problem. Yeah, no, that's what I'm picking up on here is we're dealing with that first level of creation in the spiritual realm, and he's creating, the angel of the presence. And then how many do we have any idea of which other ones he creates here, Ariel?
Well, yeah. So here, let's read. So, let's go down. So, also, I want to see, is there even any commentary on this? Interesting, there isn't. One of these days, I want to figure out how to actually add to commentary over. Let's
Be
see.
interesting because one of the things I'm picking up on the level here is we're talking about this more of a spiritual realm, archetypal realm, as opposed to the material realm here. So what would be being created here would be more of a spiritual earth, spiritual water, spiritual fire, for lack of a better analogy.
You think that's what it's referring to by the spirits?
Well, I think that's what we're referring to here. We're doing with basically the layers of creation, and you have the Aleph at the beginning, and then you start with the two, and I'm seeing the angel of the presence as sort of like that mini Aleph, the Aleph on the second level. And it's like my guess is now we're going to be creating, this is the archetypal realm, so we should have some sort of correspondence to our letters coming up here as well. But what I'm saying is this is the archetypal realm through which we then draw this is where you're building the stuff through which the forms through which you then draw the energy to create it in the physical realm. Or something along those lines. You're first starting with creating the powers like earth and water and fire, and then you're gonna, you're pulling everything from the Aleph on down. So you're pulling the Aleph through the fire, through this, and then finally onto the physical realm. Are you grokking at all with that, Ariel?
Sorry, I'm just.
I'm trying to fill air while you're typing. Then.
Yeah. 1 second. Right. Let's see. List of Jubilee years, modernity. Sorry, I'm just trying to. List of list of Hebrew. List of Jewish Jubilee years. All right, here I found it. What is this? Let's see. All right, wait, shoot, is it? Sorry, just keep talking. I'm just looking for something.
Okay. No, I'm seeing some definite parallels here to what we were working on in the the book the other day, the last few days we were working through, and that's where you're pulling the stuff down from the Aleph into there, and it seems like here these are the like I said, spiritual almost interference patterns created from the creation coming through there, and you're dealing sort of it, and the days probably correspond somehow with the letters we were dealing with the seven doubles. Bet Gimel Dalet Kaf Pei Resh and Tav. And one of them would probably be, the rest day would be silent.
All right, here, I'm going to get back into it. I was just explaining something about the Jubilee to Neil but yeah, I invited him on again in case he wants to, because I feel like these questions would also help everyone, because it's, kind of like when, it's that type of critical scholarship where if you just have someone saying something, you don't get as much as if you have someone pushing against it. That way you can clarify, you can tighten all the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, I sort of see it as we're sort of have our machetes and we're exploring in the jungle, and we don't necessarily know what we're finding.
Not the jungle, my friend, the orchard.
Very true. Very true. I sit corrected here.
Cool. And then also, so Car is going to hop on in like 20 minutes or so. So
cool.
So let's see. So yeah, on the first day, he who created the heavens that were upon the earth and the waters and all the spirits that stood before him, the Malachi Hapanim and the angels of the presence, the Malachi Hakdusha, and the angels of the holiness, or the angels. These are probably the ones that are they shout. They're the ones that are they fly around God's throne and they shout Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzavot Kol Haaretz Malek Kivodo. So that's holy, holy, holy is Yahweh Tzavaot, Yahweh of the heavenly armies. What is it? Wait. Kol haaretz malei kivodo. The entire earth is filled with your glory. And then also the glory of God is the Shekhinah, and so the whole world is filled with the Shekhinah. Wow, I never thought of it that way. It's just because it's so, it's just so ingrained that you don't even think to pick apart those grains.
Yeah, because what I'm picking up on here, Ariel, is going back to the book, is we have the presence, it corresponds to the Aleph. And the angels of holiness there, of sanctification, are the next two. What's that? Resh and, not Resh. Shin and Mem.
Oh yeah. Oh, what about them?
Those are the angels of sanctification. They keep flying around the Aleph in the Ouroboros cycling of the three.
Interesting. Wait, sorry, I'm also just trying to figure something out.
No problem. I'm seeing this, and that's what they're trying to say in a different way here in Jubilees. Is they're trying to say the angel of the presence is the Aleph, and the angels of sanctification are Mem and Shin.
Oh, that's a really interesting take. I never even thought about it that way.
And the three of those Mem and Shin flying around the Aleph is what that Ouroboros cycling thing that we've been talking about.
Wow.
I think
Sorry.
that's a strong identification.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. So let's see. So the angels of the presence, and the angels of sanctification, and the angels of the Malchei Ruach, and the angels of the spirit. Interesting. The spirit of the fire. The spirit of, and the angels of the spirit of fire, and the angels. That's weird. V'malachei ruach ha'esh, v'malachei ruach sa'ara. What's this? The angel. Wait, what was this? Ruach ha'esh. This. The angels of the fiery spirit, or of the like fiery wind, and the angels of the stormy wind, and the angels of the cloudy wind.
So you got so run that by me again. You got fiery wind.
Yeah, you have fiery, you have stormy, and you have cloudy. Wow, you are onto something. So I think probably Ruach HaEsh is Shin, Ruach Sa'ara is Mem, and Ruach Anani, which is the clouds, is Aleph.
That could be. I'm also looking at that as being analogous to where we pulled down. You got the three mothers there, but you're pulling down. Remember our sequence. You had the Aleph, the three mothers. You seal them with the flower of life that begins to grow your tree of life, and your first step is fire, water, and air. So the angels at this point would be, and the three mothers would be what would be flying around. You got Aleph, Mem, and Shin are the ones flying around as the three mothers. And you get down there, and you're getting fire, water, air, and you have fiery wind and stormy wind as the fire and the water part, and cloudy wind as the air part.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting as well. Let's see. Okay, so it should be. Sorry, I'm just writing this down in a notebook.
So am I. So
Ruach HaEsh, Ruach Anani. Anani. And Sa'ara. Alright, so this is interesting. So you have Shin, Aleph, Mem. Alright. So okay, yeah, and not only that, but it says the Malachei Ruchot Anani Alta, upon them. I think Alta. Wait, darkness? Oh, of cloudy darkness. Or gloomy darkness.
Now what about the gloomy darkness?
That's the clouds of gloom.
Oh, that's the cloudy wind, or all the clouds together are the cloudy gloom?
No. The cloudy one is the dark.
Okay.
Let's see. So, the Malachei HaBarad, and the angels of hail, or of like sleet, the Hakfor. What is it? There's multiple meanings for this, most likely. Frost, Kafur. Interesting. So in the angels of basically of hail and frost, and the angels of Ha'amakim, the valleys. What is this? The Hara'amim, Re'emim. So veils. Maybe there's maybe of the thundering and the angels of the thundering valleys. Here it says thunder and lightning, but yeah, I don't know. Amakim is literally valleys. Any interpretation on this that you would have?
Nothing so far too much yet. I'm sitting there and I'm trying to see it as a pulling down and seeing where we go there. So we got fire, class. Now, is the clouds and darkness separate? Because I'm looking at translation where they have spirit of the angel of spirit of fire, spirit of winds, and spirit of clouds, and then they have of darkness is separate. Like there's an angel of darkness.
No, it's
No.
it's this idea of the RFL. So RFL is a combination of Or and Afel. And so Or is light, Afel is darkness, so RFL is gloom. It's this idea of the holy gloom. It's like this idea of the it's like very alchemical in nature.
No, I understand exactly what they're talking about. I just you verified I'm looking at a bad translation.
Yeah.
And that happens. And then it has after that hail, and you said the hoarfrost, and then it has thunder and lightning, heat and cold, and then we're going to have the the 4 seasons. And I'm trying, and I'll leave off at that one and see how that corresponds with what you're reading here, coming up here.
Let's see. So, and then we're on Amakim Haramaim. Oh, sorry, I just want to write all this down. Amakim Ha Re 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 Re'amim. Re'amim. Okay, so the Barakim. Oh, the Malakei Amakim Hara'amim the Habarakim. So the angels of the deepening or of the deep thunder and lightning, maybe.
Yeah, no, that's fitting there.
Let's see. Sure, I gotta add that. Let's see. The Habrakim. Barakim. Okay, so the Malachei Ruchot Hakor and the angels of the spirit of cold. The Hachom, the Hastav, Ha'aviv, Ha'choref, Ha'kait. So you have so Ruchot Hakor the Hachom. So the angels of wait, what? One second. It has nothing to do with the Gregorian calendar.
No.
Neil asked why the Jubilee is a sabbatical. If the Jubilee is a sabbatical year, then why isn't it on 2021 7, 14, 21? And it's the reason because it just happens to be that 2022 is really close to 2023/2022 is very close to 2021, but that ultimately that it's just a coincidence.
Gregorian calendar was 1,000+ years after. This is the previous. This is the solar Julian calendar adoption adjustment.
So what he's talking about is apparently Israel recognized in 2007 as a sabbatical year. So let's see. So 2007, then that's what 2014, 2021. So maybe this is maybe how it's being counted is as the 50th year and not as the 49th year, and
that what I read is they switched to a 50th year counting at some point. That the modern counting is you do 49 of them, and then the 50th is a special one. But I also read that the original interpretation was it was the 49th and major one coincided rather than having them separate.
One second. You should definitely ask him about it. So I guess that he's going to record. Well, I mean, not in person, but he's going to record with Rabbi Tovia Singer. And I happen to say, hey, you should ask Rabbi Tovia about this. And he's like, oh, I'm recording with him tomorrow. So yeah, that'd be something interesting to find out.
Oh yeah, I'm always interested to hear people's takes.
Definitely. So let's see, where are we? So the angels of let me write this down. So it's interesting though, because you get so much more depth than you do with anything else. Like, for instance, none of this is in Genesis.
Well, to read some of these people talk about it, it's in Genesis. It's just coded specially in Genesis.
Yeah.
And this is the part that helps you decode it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So the of the heat and the cold, then we have, let's see. So hastav, ha'aviv, ha'choref, ha'kait. So the fall and the spring, the winter and the summer. So let's see. So stop. Stav. Aviv. Aviv. And then wait. So it should be Aviv, kites, stav, choref. Kites. Kites, and then choref. Shoot. One sec. See. All right, here. So, so an Avada man of summer. So, any thoughts on these four wind spirits? I think you could also probably correlate it with the wind of the north, the south, and the east and the west, right?
Now, is the thunder and lightning and cold and hot, are those all wind spirits?
So, yeah. Well, so so let's see.
Because I'm seeing a triplet with the fiery, stormy, and cloudy that corresponds to our fire, water, and air from the Sephirah. But it's like when we get below that on our Sephirah construction, we pull that immediately through a triple of hot, cold, and warm. And this seems to be dividing up into three triples, which is the cold and hot being one there, the thunder and lightning being another, and the sleet and the hoarfrost being the third.
Interesting.
And then it seems to pull from those through another layer of the seasons of winter, spring, summer, autumn, which were never mentioned in the Sephirah at that stage.
So maybe it's also like
But
this. Like,
I'm almost done here, Ariel. At that point in time, both of them pull into creatures. So it's like there's this middle section that's different in the two, but then they connect down at the next step. I wanted to get that in before you commented. Sorry, Ariel. Go ahead now.
So maybe with the like the frost and the sleet, the thunder and the lightning, and the what was the other thing?
Hot and cold.
Yeah, it's like things that go together, but they like. Well, I mean, with the hot and the cold, that's a bit different. But for most of them, they're things that go together, but they are separate at the same time.
No, I understand what you're saying. What I was identifying is there's definitely if we have the process, what I was talking about before, if they got we've had the process at the beginning and we have the same output underneath it, these two processes have to have a functor where they relate somehow. There's just two different ways of describing the same thing as happening. So we have to sit there and recognize they're both describing the same thing. And it's an exploration of trying to discern that indescribable thing that we're trying to reconstruct from all these different angles. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is maybe in the interest of time, what we can do is we'll just do a bunch at once and then we'll comment on it all at once. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So the malache haruchot and the angels of the spirits, lekol ma'asav of all the. Oh wait, what? Oh, okay. This is interesting. The malache. Wait. Yeah. How is it interpreting this? This would probably also be. Yeah, angels. But is there another context? All right. So, and the angels and the angelic spirits, maybe lekol ma'asav of all his creations, b'shamayim uba'aretz in the heavens and on earth, ubechol ha'amakim, and in all the valleys, v'malachei hachoshech, and the spirit and the angel of darkness, v'haor and of light, v'hashachar, v'ha'arav. And of dawn and of dusk. Okay, so here you have darkness and light and dawn and dusk. Interesting. Any thoughts on that?
So let me get the sequence down. You got creatures, then you got abyss and darkness, then you have
where are you getting abyss?
From the other from my other translation. So I'm trying to cross-reference translations as well. So what were you coming up with for that one?
So you have, let's see. It's Amakim is abyss. Literally, it's just valley though.
Okay.
It's a deep place, basically.
Because that's what I see it going here. Is you're going from the highest of the heavens, and they're keeping going down, and also from light to darkness is the sequencing I'm seeing. And you're doing the doubles as well. So you got it's like this one has abyss and darkness, eventide and night. Then it has it's okay. Light, it's light and dark there. That's the abyss and it's what do you have there after creatures? So we got abysses, which you have valley, and is it darkness then?
So you have, let's see, choshech ve'or, so dark and light.
Okay.
And you have shachar shachar ve'arav. So you have dawn and dusk. Or morning and evening.
Right. So that would be three of them again. You have something before dark and light. Is the abyss thing before that? The valley.
Yeah, the abyss things before that.
So what's corresponding with that one?
Amakim, valleys or deep places.
That's only one thing, or is it two?
It's only one.
Oh, so that's just. So it's like creating the abyss and then putting these things into it. Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's see the shachar. And there's an interesting play on words because so shachar it both means like dawn, and it also means black, as in like shachor or shachar choret. So,
Yeah, I was going to say that's almost it's not an onomatopoeia, but it's almost the effect of the word within the word, where it goes from darkness to light.
So, all right. So, Asher Hakin. So the dark and the light, or wait, no, the dawn and the dusk that he established bechokmat tivunato in the okay. Here it says in the knowledge of his heart, but literally in the chokhmah of his bina. What do you think of that?
That's definitely that cycling that we're talking about, where the creation is then brought back into inside.
Let's see, bechokma tavunato. Tavu. No. All right. Let's see. So the az, and so Rainu, we saw Maasav v'navracha v'navracha. So we saw his actions. Maybe. Oh shoot! What did I? 1 second. Shoot, where'd it go? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So so we saw his works, and we blessed him. Wait, Navrach, yeah, Barach. That would be, yeah, and we blessed him. Veni Halelah, and we praised him. I'll call upon all Ma'asav, upon all his actions, Kisheva, because 7 malachot, for 7 great works, or malachot gadolot, 7 great works, asa beyom harishon, 7 great works were created on the first day. Whoa, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
The 7 double letters.
I was actually maybe I was actually thinking that maybe all the 7 days were created at once. It's this idea that they were created at once and then they were actually like manifested.
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's contained in there as well. That was part of what we were looking at with the which he hath prepared in the knowledge of his heart. That had that it definitely echoing that as well, which was the internalized and then manifested approach. But I'm definitely seeing the 7 great works being the 7 double letters, which are corresponding to 7 dimensions of perception. And again, we got 7 chakras there. So you can keep on rolling.
All right, 1 second. I'm just writing this down.
And I just hit another huge correlation.
Yeah.
On the Mem and Shin are going to correspond somehow to Neptune and Venus, because the other ones are the standard 7 planets, and if you add 2 more planets, those would be the 2 you add in order to keep it most consistent.
But how are you getting Neptune and Venus though?
Well, the original correspondence only had 7 planets. And I'm sitting there and trying to figure out, now that we know we have Neptune and not Neptune and Venus, Neptune and Uranus.
Hey, Kara.
Because what I'm building that analogy there, Ariel, is that Mem and Shin would correspond to Neptune and Uranus in our generation thing, as the 7 standard planets would correspond with the 7 double letters.
Personally, I think it'd be more likely that you would have Chokhmah and Bina, which would be was it Neptune and Saturn, and Neptune would be fire and Saturn would be water. Like, is there a specific reason that you're choosing Venus?
Yeah, I was choosing Venus by mistake. I should have been saying Uranus.
Wait, why
But I'm
Uranus?
saying, because you're adding 2 more planets that we couldn't see originally. I'm saying if you correspond the original 7 planets that we had corresponding with the 7 double letters, and then you add 2 more because you're adding the Aleph is on its own, but you're also adding 2 more there with 2 more planets, say with Neptune and Uranus, and you have that initial 3 at the top with Aleph. The 2 missing there are Mem and Shin. And I'm just sort of sitting there and looking at the letters going up there, and Mem and Shin as letters would correspond with obviously Shin being fire would be Uranus, because you would want you wouldn't want fire corresponding with Neptune. Neptune would need to correspond with water.
I mean, I don't know. I think it honestly starts to break down when you try and like reconstruct elements. I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's just like at the end of the day, it's like the way that everyone chooses to do it is kind of up to themselves because there is no set standard.
Right. I'm just putting out one that really resonates strongly with me at the moment. So.
All right. Cool. So let's see. Because at least the way that I would look at it, except obviously, Saturn or Bina would already have a letter associated with it. I do think that in that case, it would make the most sense to have, because again, it's not a literal fire. It can be a type of cosmic fire. And like within the context of Neptune, you can't just think of it within the context of Neptune as, Poseidon, because there's also other associations with Neptune, such as sea monsters. And some of those sea monsters are actually dragons who breathe fire.
Oh, yeah. No. It's just getting it out there. It's just a loose thing, getting it out there. It needs more work by far. Just came to me. That's all.
Definitely. So how have you been, Kara?
I'm good. I'm trying to get into the text in front of me because I don't think I can add to the conversation you're having currently. I missed the context of it.
Here, so we were just discussing, what was it? So there's the ruach, so the spirits of it's like a 3-part partition. So you have the spirits of storm. Okay, so the spirit of fire, fiery wind, or no, the angels of fiery wind, the angels of stormy wind, and the angels of cloudy wind, or like cloudy dark wind, or like gloomy cloudy wind.
Okay. So there is fire, water, and air elements.
Yeah.
And you guys were discussing that. And in the text here, I like the part he prepared in the knowledge of his heart.
So this is something that you'll really find interesting then. So the best translation would be, so what is it? Wait, oh, here, I need to scroll up. So it's bechokhmat tivunato. So this word, it does not mean heart. Here, actually, I think I can pull up, where is it? Dictionaries. Here, let's see, tivuna. So yeah, tfuna. So
I
tfuna,
focused on the knowledge part though. And tfuna, what does it mean?
So tuvuna, tuvunato is his tuvuna. So tuvun is understanding or knowledge. It's actually derived from bina. And so it's the act of understanding, skill, the faculty of understanding, the object of knowledge, teacher, personification, understand. So tufuna can be understanding. May thy heart reason with understanding. So maybe it's this connection, like an understanding heart, and so by context, people associate it with the heart. But yeah, so this is saying for 7 great works did he, it's up here. So so it's saying that he established the Oh, and yeah, here you have the angels of the spirits of all the things that were created in the heavens and the earth, and all the things in the depths, and the angels of darkness, and the angels of light, the angels of dawn, and the angels of dusk.
I understood it, the entire stanza, all this creation, all this deviation. So, like, basically, he divided the matter into darkness, light, dawn, dusk, so that he can expand the knowledge. It lines up a lot with every other ideas of creation. So in order to know something, we have to compare it to, like, there should be some kind of a contrast in order to know it. We cannot just know it out of nothing. It comes always in comparison to something. If I don't know if lines up for you, Graham, like that.
No, it does. It does. It goes into a binary. It's sort of like you can know that something is. It's a scalar, sort of like just its existence. But to know more than that, you need something to compare it to.
It's almost like in I think it's from 2 Corinthians in Christian tradition, that he who is without sin created sin so that we could be righteous in him. It's this idea that you can't be righteous just because you're doing what's right. You have to be doing what's right because you have a choice to do wrong.
Exactly. That's some of the sense I have with it. The idea of the fall is the fall's going to be inevitable, because if you create the possibility for a fall, sooner or later somebody's going to take a bite of the apple. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So we saw his action or his works. Oh wait, yeah, we already read this. So B'yom Hashini, on the second day, Asa et Harakia, he made the horizon, or like the firmament. So this word, the reason why people think it's firmament, it literally is just because Raka means to beat out, like a shield, to stretch or spread. Let's see. Yeah, to stamp, beat out, spread out by hammering. So it's saying that God created the heavens, or the horizon, or basically the the layer that separates space from basically the heavens above from the heavens below. That was basically a, what's the word, like a seal, or a like a layer that was stamped out, or like beaten out around the heavens, as if like you physically beat down a shield. So this is based off of a mythological concept. It's not literally saying that the dome is solid. Like some people, I think there's some flat earthers that believe that. It's really ridiculous.
I agree with it from the flat earth interpretation. I'm picking up stuff, Ariel, in my group theory interpretation, where you have the group of 3 that we're working on with the 3 mothers. Then you're adding 7 with the double letters, and that's a different group. And it's like each of these groups is individually distinct from each other, so you can consider that there's a firm barrier between the different groups, because when you get down to creatures, you're throwing in the additional 12 plus some other plus you're bringing it into reality. So it's like, on my level of interpretation, it makes perfect sense. But if you try to sit there and apply it to the physical world, you're going to end up with something silly.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it's like this idea you can have something that's firm, but it's not solid. It's almost like the idea of almost like the aleph. The aleph is firm. It's the firmness between the shin and the mem, but it's not solid. It's literally air.
Or the idea of you can't exceed the speed of light. It's just one of those rules.
Don't test me. Don't test me. Don't test me. I'll try it.
Oh, I'd love for you to try. I'd like to be wrong on that one.
No, I'm just imagining in my head, like, just trying to run super fast and never getting to even close to even something that's even far away from that. I've been watching. Yeah. Sorry, yeah?
You've been watching The Flash too much?
No, I've been watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia too much. I think it might be rubbing off on me.
Ah.
But yeah, here let's continue. So so he created the rakia, let's just say rakia because it's the best word. Bein hamayim, between the waters, ve'yivdalu, to separate, hamayim beyom hahu, to separate the waters on that day. Chetzim, and they were halved, because chetzi is half. And they were halved Allah me'al la rakia, upon from up upon the water, or from up upon to the rakia. So half upon, half to up upon the layer, or upon the rakia, and half yarad, to go down, mitachat la rakia, to go be down below the rakia. Asher betoch al pnei kol haaretz, that is in the midst of all the face of the entire earth.
I'm picking up something on my group theory interpretation here, and I'm seeing that at this point in time, you're doing something with the 12 letters. And the 12 letters, because I noticed that pattern in the first 6 and the second 6. So I'm sort of almost seeing that as the dividing them in half with above and below, and they're taking the 12 and putting 6 above and 6 below. Again, enormous stretch, but that's something that is just kind of coming to me that may fit in later and fit some of the stuff that we've seen so far.
Interesting. So so vizot hamlacha, and so that was the work ha'achat asher. Wait, that was the work that the single one asher asa did b'yom hasheni. So it's interesting. So on the second day, that was the work that the one did. So it's like literally saying ha'echad, the one.
And that's some of where I'm coming up with the parallels, because if we're looking at the 3 generators basically on the 0, the 7 letters on the first day, and then you're doing the 6 letters on the second day. Just sort of trying to stretch as far as I can here and see it until it breaks.
Interesting. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Yeah, just continue for a moment.
I wanted to note again, he divides into 2. It's always the like dusk and dawn, up, the waters went up and down. The divisions always go into 2 sides. And I always thought there would be some third as well, but it's always 2.
What was the other one you said?
Which I noticed. Sorry, like on the second day, he divided waters. One went up and the other half went down. And previously, as he was creating on day 1, he also made a lot of different things. But each little thing he divided into 2 halves, like into 2 contrasts. Even the water, which is the same thing, is still contrasted and divided up or down. So kind of he made directions. So if before that he made the contrast, on the second day he made the directions, up or down directions.
Yep, you're picking up on the same thing I was there, Kara.
Mm-hmm.
Because did you happen to catch Ariel and I's one on the double letters from the book, the Sephira?
No.
Because
so I'm out of context completely.
Because that was one of the things I'm building off of here, is each of the double letters is a spectrum where you either have to choose hot or cold. You can't choose warm. And what it does is it forces, those are basically, you're a math person, so basically dimensions of perception. You can register along these axes. So each of them is a different level of perception that you can register, but you have to have that axis. It can't be just a one. You have to have one divided into 2. And by forcing you to express each of those concepts, not as warm, but as either hot or cold, it's forcing that choice along those axes into one point. And that's the point of the double letters. And that's what I'm seeing here with the 7 double letters. Those are the 7 great things he did on the first day of creation there, or second one, whichever. But the first one that we did was with the Aleph Men Shin, that's the 3 generating Ouroboros that we're talking about. And that's what I was grokking with the very beginning here with the presence of God, the angel of the presence. It corresponds to the Aleph, and the
I
angels.
actually know where the third one is.
And the next step is the angels of sanctification, which is Mem and Shin. And those are constantly dancing around and praising, which would correspond to our Ouroboros cycling. And then the next step after that is where we're talking about going from there. Sorry, you go ahead, Ariel, tag.
Okay. I also wanted to add. I understood, just like as you were talking, Graham. There is actually 3 elements here. It's not only 2, but there is the decider, the one who is kind of in the middle, and he decides where is up from and where is up from. Like there is this axis, like that. So there is this point from which something goes up and something goes down. So there are 3 kind of characters in here. Half of the water up, half of the water up, and the one in the middle who like sees the directions.
So you bring her up to speed, Ariel. After that, I'll bring her up to our Flower of Life, Tree of Life sequence. Go ahead, Ariel.
So Kara, there's this one idea. It's so mem do memet shin shoreket. So mem is silent. So it's like mem, like water, is silent. Shin shoreket, like, so it's part of this idea that also the shh. You make this whistling sound when you make the shh sound. So shin shoreket, it means shin whistles. Then the aleph chok markia ben atayim, and aleph is the decider, or the fixed point between that decides between the 2. That's like exactly what you were saying.
Yep, you're perfectly right, Ariel. And just to build on that construction, you're building from that we had in the Sephira. You build from the Aleph, then you add Mem and Shin, and those become the 3 mothers that cycle in our Ouroboros. You seal those with the Flower of Life. At that point, you start to grow the Tree of Life, and the first step there is you pull down from Aleph through basically through the generator mothers, through the flower, through the tree, and then you create fire, water, and air, which is exactly those dichotomy distinction, and then air is the decider. It's like fire and water on the 2 sides with air decider, which very much corresponds with the Norse fire, ice gap in the middle. The next step we have in our sequence from there is you pull down again from the Aleph another level to create hot, cold with warm as the decider. And again, same sort of thing there. The next step beyond that, you pull down and you start creating creatures. I'm done ranting. You guys can comment now.
No, just thank you for bringing me up to speed. I understood. I just picking up parts of the puzzles out of context. Thank you for letting me know.
I'll be right back. But that's one of the things that's really nice about this, is that at the end of the day, yeah, like it does help to have some founding within, like, for instance, within Jewish tradition. But at the end of the day, you're not really starting at a deficit. It's more so you're starting at a boost if you do have that context. But it's almost like, imagine you have a book and you have this whole fan club around this book, and then it's made into a movie. You don't need to see the book in order to see the movie, but if you did see the book, you're going to understand the movie so much better. But that being said, many people start by watching the movie, and then they're like, hey, I want to read the book that it was based on.
100% agree, Ariel. And one of the things I find in those cases is sometimes when you watch the movie after having read the book, you really wish you had never seen the movie because the book was so much better. And sometimes the movie's a lot better. It's like Men in Black. That movie was so much better than the comic book. So what are your thoughts here, Kara? You've been out of the loop here, so. Let's hear what you have to say on the stuff Ario and I are
I thinking like yeah, I never read a comic book of Men in Black, but the movie was really good. The first one, not the rest one, not the other ones. And I actually think I never read into creation. Like I remember I read it as a child, but I never paid attention much. But right now I find it extremely cool. In the sense there is always the one who decides the directions and the difference. There is always this presence and consciousness which stands out to me in each chapter of the, like in each verses days of the creation. So there is always this that point from which the directions branch out. That's absolutely amazing. So I still keep being excited about that thought. It's not really a discovery. It's just like that's the first time I noticed. Somehow I could recognize it. You know that moment when we recognize that we are on a ball, circling around the ball of fire and flying through space, and then you're like, oh my god, I didn't think about that. The fact that we are like just little beings trying to contemplate the complexity of life while just being inhabitants on the ball.
Yeah, no, the flip on that perspective that I like is then you realize that nothing in that entire thing changed except your perspective of how the whole thing was. Everything was exactly the same way before. You just didn't sort it the same way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Interesting. So Blazing Up 420 said, was it dawn is 35 minutes and dusk is the same. The twilight hour is 70 minutes. Azura was the daughter of Adam and Eve and the wife and sister of Seth in the book of Jubilees. Azura meaning clear blue sky. Nephthys, meaning mistress of the house, was the goddess of the air, since the sky is the head of the world and the head of the family. Nephthys was the wife of Seth, god of chaos. That sounds like the dance of Shiva, and the cosmic dance of Shiva is called the Ananda-tandava. Yeah, Ananda-tandava, meaning the dance of bliss, and symbolizes the cosmic cycles of creation and destruction, as well as the daily rhythm of birth and death. Any thoughts on that before we move on?
Yeah, I'm very glad. Go ahead, Kara.
No, it stood out to me that Ananda Thava. I recognized it from the also Hindu mantra Sat Chit Ananda, and that's it. Like that's the mantra you repeat to be one with the universe. So that Ananda Thava is
yes. So Ananda means bliss. It's actually I forget. Was it cannabis? Yeah. So the endogenous cannabinoid that I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it's an endogenous cannabinoid that was named anandamide. But it's basically referred to as the bliss chemical, and it's something that's produced endogenously in the body. But it's basically like it's I forget if it's responsible for runner's high, but I think they found it in the presence of human breast milk.
Well, are you talking oxytocin? Because that was always what was referred to as the bliss molecule, and that's present like in childbirth and all.
Well,
and they usually go ahead, Ariel. Sorry, just asking.
So no, Ananda just means bliss. They chose the name as the endogenous counterpart.
Oh, I got you. It's a different chemical.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to put up something real quick to see if I can find it. Let's see. Come on. Okay, here. What is anandamide? So yeah, I mean it's a endogenous cannabinoid, but it just happened to be named after that.
No, that makes sense. It's part of the whole research here, and that's the one of the one question that begs answering is why do we even have a cannabinoid system?
Definitely. But at the same time, it's like something that I think is also important to talk about is consumption patterns, because the way it was used in the past is not the same way it's used now, and in a lot of ways, it's completely been disconnected from its spiritual origin.
I was going to mention sacramental or that sort of use of it, the sacred use versus recreational use.
Yeah. So let's get back into the text. So, oh yeah.
No, I remember we talked about the difference between sacred versus recreational, and when sacred used recreationally loses its power and its value at some point. Yeah.
Not only loses, it can switch from being something powerfully good to being something powerfully harmful and bad.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So yeah, thanks for putting this up there. So anandamide ANA, also known as arachidonoethylamine, AEA is a fatty acid neurotransmitter. It participates in the body's endocannabinoid system by binding to cannabinoid receptors, the same receptors that the psychoactive compound tetrahydrocannabinol in cannabis acts on. Anandamide is found in nearly all tissues in a range of animals, and it has also been found in plants. The name anandamide is taken from the Sanskrit word ananda, which means joy, bliss, or delight. So it's interesting because, I mean, and I don't know, there might be something here because, so if you were to translate ananda into Hebrew, do you know what word you would get?
Not a clue.
Let's just say it's a very important word, especially in this part of the Bible.
Hopefully not Elohim.
Eden.
Ah, funny.
Yeah, Eden literally means pleasure or delight or bliss. So anyway, so let's see, where are we? So wait.
Eden is also the garden that contains the tree of knowledge. So
exactly. So the name for it, because it's Gan Ha-Eden, it's the garden of bliss, literally. It just happens to be that people call it as Eden rather than translate Eden into what it means, as well as that. Let's see. So wait, where are we? Oh yeah, we read this part. So this. Oh wait, yeah, this is the work that the only one created on the second day. So B'yom Hashlishi, on the third day, Asa be'amru, he made and said, Yakun, you will establish. Wait, no, on the third day he commanded the waters. Okay, so on the third day he made, he said, Yakuv. Oh wait, is this kava latikva? Wait, yeah. So he said wait. He said wait. Was this the Hamayim me'al pnei kohart? Maybe he lifted or he strengthened. Oh, he strengthened. So and he said he did and said and strengthened the water me'al pnei kol haaretz. Strengthened the water that is upon the entire face of the entire earth. El makom, to the place, echad, to the single place, or to the single one, because makom is also a name for God. Echad v'tira hayavasha. So here it says he commanded the waters to pass from off the face of the whole earth into one piece, and the dry land began to appear. So this word hayabasha is the dry land. Vayasa lamaim, and he lifted. And vayas. Oh, and so the waters did kasher as he said to them, and they and strengthened Maal. And they retired from. They waited for collected. Oh, he collected the was it? He collected them from upon the face of the earth. from the single place, from outside, Lerakia to the firmament, Vitire Hayabasha. So and they retired from off the face of the earth into one place outside of this firmament, and the dry land appeared. Ubayom hahu, and on that day, bara lamaim, creating for the water, et ha tehomot, he created for the water the deeps, or the tehom, the tehomot hayamim, the depths of the oceans, lemikva, for a gathering, mayhem of their to gather their waters, the whole ha-neharot, and all the rivers, the mikomot, and all the places, mikva gathered, hamayim gathered the water, baharim in the mountains, uvechol ha-adama, and from all the earth. So from saying from all the mountains and from all the earth. So yeah, and on that day he created for them all the seas according to their separate gathering places, and all the rivers and the gatherings of the waters in the mountains and on the earth. The kol agamim. Oh, Agam. That's the name of that one girl that I didn't remember what her name was, but she was in that one. What was it? Echad Miodea. Yeah, Agam means lake. So the chol ha'agamim, and all the lakes, the chol tal, and all the dew, ha'aretz, all the dew of the earth, the hazra'ah, and the seed, asher yizro, that is seeded, leminhu, which is sown. Wait, what's this? According to their kind, the chol me'ochal, and all that is eaten, all food, asher yachlu, all food that is eaten, the ha'atzim, and all the trees, osei pri, which give their fruit or bear fruit, that say hayar. And the trees of the forest, vegan ha'eden leta'ava, and the Garden of Eden. What's v'ta'ava? But yeah, what are your all's thoughts on this? Because we're on something really deep here.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about the elements.
Go ahead, Kara.
Okay, so the first day was fire, water, and air, and the second day was the direction. But on the third day, he created both earth and wood. So 5 elements plus the directions. And only then, after all of those elements had been created, the Garden of Eden could be, the Garden of Bliss, or the tree. It could only grow out after all of the foundations were created. Which is interesting that on the second day was the direction. So, like, what does it mean? Does this mean that the idea to decide what is up and down, the direction thing is also it's also an element? Because it had a special day just for that, just for the directions up and down. That's
one way of looking at that could be it was created the possibility with the creation of the directions, and then moving on to actuality with the choice of which direction to take on the next day. And that's when things came into being. You know, that building off of your analogy there, building off of mine with my group theory letter thing, you have that one done on the second day. And with our construction, we're still pulling through on the third day. And it's like you're creating the more gaps in the middle where different levels of distinction can work. It's like each time you create a gap in the middle to decide, you're adding a new day, so to speak. And again, that's a different level of progression than what you're talking about, Kara, or really what I'm talking about on a different point. So it's like I'm really talking about almost 2 sequences at the same time. So I'm going to be quiet and
also
see
have
how that
another
resonates.
idea.
That's what I want to hear. I want to be quiet and have that resonate off you guys. Go ahead.
Okay, Ariel or like.
You go.
Okay, so I feel it's actually branching out each time into two halves with the one in the middle who decides. So there is deviation between fire and water, which is air. So there is like those two and something in between air. There is deviation between the first day and the third day, which is the day with the direction, the second day. So he's in between the first and the second and the third. It's like on one day he created fire, water, and on the third day he created earth and wood. But in between there were the directions. So it keeps kind of branching out all the time. If to draw it as a painting, let's say, it actually does sound like that thing that grows and keeps like that tree over there, the succulent that grows and keeps branching out into two each leaf.
So I actually so I looked this up. So this word leta'ava. So you made all these things. Ve'etzei haya'ar. So and the trees of the forest, vegan ha'eden leta'ava, and the Garden of Eden to mark them. Or like so here I looked into this and it says that let's see here one second. Tava. Yeah, it does so I mean there's a few different interpretations, but it seems like to decide or to mark them. I'm not really sure what it means by that, but so and also I'm going to try chanting it because I don't know, it's a different vibe. So Kol arba beriot hagdolot haile bara beyom hashlishi. So all the four things that all the four creation, the four great creation, these so all these four great creations were created on the third day. Uveyom harevi bara et hashemesh ve'et hayareach ve'et hakochavim vayitenotam barakia hashamayim le'avir al kol haaretz. So and on the fourth day he created. This is interesting. So okay, do you notice this? So on the first day, so on the second day, the one created. On the second day, he created three things. On the third day, created two, or no. And then here you have the four great works that God created on the third day. And so now we're on the fourth day. It's going to be probably five things, I'm guessing. So he so on the fourth day he created the sun and the moon and the stars and gave to them gave to them in the firmament or in the rakia hashamayim, in the heavenly firmament, leha'ir to emanate light al kol haaretz, to give light off upon all the world. Vayasam otam lamoshlei hayom halila velahavdil ben or uven choshech. So and he placed them to decide or to be an example or to divide hayom v'halayla. Oh, not halila. It's so to separate the day and the night, and v'lahavdil. Wait, yeah, no, to decide between the day and the night. Ulehavdil, and to separate bein or ubein choshech, and to separate between light and dark. Vayas Elohim et hashemesh laot gdola al haaretz leyamim ולשבתות, לשנים וליובלים ולכל תקופות השנה. So Vayas, and they made and appointed, is this Ya'as? And he made and God Elohim made et Hashemesh, made the sun leot, to be a sign, to be a great sign al haaretz, upon the earth, leyamim, for days, uleshabatot, and for Sabbaths, leshana, for years, or leshanim, for years, uleyovelim, and for jubilees, lekol letakufot, and for all the seasons. Hashanah, of the year. I'm just going to read these. Okay, read to the end of the fourth day. So, ולהבדיל בין אור ובין חושך, ולמגד כל דבר אשר יצמח, ויפרע על הארץ. So, and he separated between the light and between the darkness, and he magad, he told. Lemagad. Oh, maybe the thing for prosperity. Kol devar asher, so that all the things that yitzmach, that sprout, yipara, that sprout and bear fruit, al haaretz, that sprout and bear fruit upon the earth. Et shloshat minim ha'ele aseh bayom harevi. So these were the three kinds that he did. These were the three kinds that he made on the fourth day. Wait, did it before it was the four great works, that four on the third, and is this three on the four? This is interesting. What are y'all getting from this?
I think the earth and the trees should come after sun, not before. But okay, it's like a little bit forced into the third place, like almost like OCD thing. Like they were forced in there. It's logical to me that the sun and the stars were created on the like before. Not I don't care about the third day, but before Earth and the lakes and the trees. But it makes sense that somebody would place it in the middle of the 7 days cycle creation thing, because the day 4 is the kind of in the middle, in between, and there are 3 and 3 on each side, and the 4th in the middle. So even though it doesn't make sense, that for the trees they need the sun to grow and bear fruit before that, but it makes sense to be in the middle of the creation.
100% agree, Kara. That was sort of like the problem I was talking about, where those people interpret that dome over where it's the one sequence, is utter silliness in another. And you were earlier about between the two and the growing generations after each other. One of the things I was picking up is the sequence of you start with Aleph, and then Aleph produces Mem and Shin, and then becomes the decider between Mem and Shin, and then keeps producing the next level where you have fire and water, and it's almost like Aleph keeps coming back in a different, more cloaked level to decide on each different generation. Like it starts on its own, then it decides between amongst the other two and the three mothers, and then it's deciding it's the air part of the fire and water, and then it's the warm part of hot and cold, and then it's sort of like it keeps going down there as the center spine with the other options on the other side. Is that resonating with you guys at all?
Yeah. And so get this. So I just tallied it up. So on the first day, he created 7 things. On the second day, 1 thing. On the third day, 4 things. And on the fourth day, 3 things. I don't know if you can see this.
So what's our total?
So it decreases.
So right now we have 15 things so far.
So that's 22, then we definitely have something that corresponds with the letters.
Yeah. So let's see. So right. וביום החמישי ברא את התנינים הגדולים בתוך תהומות המים, כי המה ראשית יצורי ידיים את כל הבשר ואת כל השורץ במים, את הדגים ואת כל אשר יופך את כל עוף כנף למיניהו. So, and on the fifth day, he created et hataninim gedolim, the great dragons, taninim, serpent, dragon, sea monster, venomous, sea or river monster, Egyptians, personification of chaos, personification of water spout. So this is interesting. So, betoch te'omot hamayim, in the midst of the depths of the water, ki hema, because they reshit yitzori, because their heads were, what is this? For they were the first formations of his hands at kol habasar, and of all flesh. Interesting. It almost seems like it's correlating this with the idea of like dinosaurs, but they didn't know back then.
Or at least we have no way of confirming that they knew.
Yeah, that's what.
Well, so we know they found their bones. The question is, what did they think of those bones? And so here, Taninim Gedolim, great serpents or great dragons.
Yes, the other one I'm also getting on is an idea of plasma clouds in the sky. I'm also picking up on an idea of, this is again some stuff, unpublished work, where it's the idea of awareness being open-ended in search of something. Basically, awareness is awareness of, and therefore it's a snake sort of object with an open-ended container on the front and a tail at the back. And again, unpublished stuff, and so sort of talking, beyond speculative here, just throwing it out there to see if that resonates with you guys at all.
It's definitely interesting. I do think it's very connected with this idea of the Ouroboros, especially because of the fact that that it's associated with the deep and with chaos. All right, so let's see. So first of his work works of his hands and all flesh, that kol hashoretz and all of sharatz. Here, I need to look this up. Sharetz. Enter. To team or swarm. That kol hashoretz and all of the swarm, or that kol hashoretz and all the swarms, and they the et kol hashoretz, and it swarmed, and they swarmed b'mayim et hadagim. They swarmed the fish. Wait, swarm team, teething or swarm. They swarmed to the let's see. Yeah, I guess it's like they swarmed et hadagim. They swarmed the fish ve'et kol asher ya'afuch, and they swarmed the fish and all that fluttered, maybe all that ya'ufech. Let's see. The first things of his flesh that were created by his hands, the fish and everything that moves in the water, No, because it seems like it's saying, wait, I'm reading this wrong. So it's created. So he created the great dragons in the depths of the water. They were the first of his the works of his hands, and called Pabasar. Either it's saying and also the first of all flesh, or it's saying and created created all flesh. That kol hashoretz and every creeping thing. B'mayim et hadagim, in the fish he created the sea. That kol asher yafoch, and all that flies. Et kol uf, created all created all birds. Kanef leminhu, birds according to their kind, or flying birds according to their kind. The Yazreach ויזרח להם השמש למרפא, ולכל אשר על הארץ, לכל הצומח על הארץ, ולכל עצים עושה פרי לכל הבשר. So and the sun rose upon them lemirpa rafa, like to heal, above them, to prosper them or to heal them, and lekol asher, and for everything that is upon the earth, lekol hatzomech, and for everything for every plant, or al haaretz, every plant or everything that grows on the earth, ulekol etzim, and all the plants, osei pri, that make or that bear fruit, ulekol habasar, and for all flesh. Et kol shloshat haminim האלה עשה ביום החמישי. So these were the three things he created on the fifth day. So pulling up that chart, so we have 71433 so far. Any thoughts?
Yeah, because this is one that it hits the second one of those inconsistencies that Kara highlighted the first one with the sun and the moon being created after plants. This one is you have birds created before reptiles and land animals, which is clearly inconsistent there. And what's making sense is Kara's growth sort of model there, where the extremes happen before the middle, and the middle picks between the extremes, which would make sense here, where each of the two are happening, and then it gets combined in the middle. You have flying and flying and sea creatures first, so next would be land creatures, and that's what I'm grokking on here. There, tag to you guys.
Interesting. Also, I just thought of a new way of chanting that. I don't know why I wasn't doing that before, because I'm just kind of winging it, but this is a much better way, basically using the tunes of different songs. But Kara, do you have any thoughts?
I agree with Graham. Also, I thought about the flying things. I actually thought of insects, but before birds. But I don't know how it exactly was said in Hebrew, because it said creatures, and I was not sure. But if it's dinosaurs, actually birds were also dinosaurs, like they come from dinosaurs. But that's the extreme which is created, and day 6 should make sense somehow in a binding. But I also think, what is the sun and the moon the day 4? What does it's also in the middle, and on one side you have elements, and on the second side you kind of have this life, living creatures that move. And I was thinking, like, why trees are not included in the living creatures, but like, so I have all those questions. Yeah.
One resolution I had for the sun and moon so late after plants and all was when I realized that the earth the sun is basically a third generation star. It's only about 5 billion years old, and the universe is 14 billion years old. And this is one that I think Ariel and I were sort of talking about, where your first generation stars, your Big Bang only really produced helium and hydrogen, and your first generation stars started to produce some of the heavier elements, and it was only after that one. And the thought is that you could have had plants and all and creatures evolve and come up around those second generation stars before the sun and earth that we have came about being. That was one of those, tentative, speculative resolutions that I had thought of, just bouncing it off of you.
I haven't thought deep enough about this theory to give appropriate answer, but it's interesting. I have no ways of knowing, but in theory it is possible. Like everything High priest. I like what actually 420 Mr. Blazing Gum. He said something interesting. Birds fly in
Oh, no.
heavens, but I actually am picking up about the directions now. It's like up and down. Do you guys hear Graham? Okay.
Graham, were you going?
Am I back again?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have my appointment at 9 hour here. If you guys are still on, I'll pop back in.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Take care, and yeah. So I'll just continue with Kara, and then if Kara has to go or whatever, then I'll just head off, and then we'll continue whenever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, this is I enjoy and I appreciate the perspective Kara brings. It's always nice, an extra perspective. It brings the resolution higher.
Thank you, Graham.
Thank you for joining, and always fun with you, Kara. You guys take care, and if I don't see you again, I'll see you next time around.
All right, take care, Graham. Have a
Take
good
care.
appointment.
Take care.
Okay. Yep. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
So I wanted to talk about the directions. It's up. It's again air and water. So up and down. So it keeps kind of dividing. So even the creatures he created, he divided into two: those that inhabit air and those that inhabit water, before the land somehow. And so I guess the land will come next, as in the thing.
The other interesting parallel I think you can make is that it's not just air and water, but fire as well, because within this paradigm, the heavens are understood as being connected or made out of fire. And, it's kind of like this idea with the sun and all the stars. And so that's fire. And then you have the air that separates them, which is like, the air. But then between like our air and it's how it gets really complicated, but it's almost like this idea of that which lives in the heavens is made of fire, and that's kind of the idea of like angels, that which is made, and then everything that's on earth, both in the water and on earth, that that breathes water and that breathes air, that they're both made up of earth. But yeah, so let's see where we. So right. וביום השישי עשה את כל חיות הארץ ואת כל הבהמה ואת כל רמש האדמה. So and on the sixth day he made every life, chayot, all life, et kol chayot haaretz, all the life of the world, the et kol habehama, the et kol ramas, and all. Okay, so every beast, so behama is beast, or it can also mean like cattle, but this is where the term behemoth comes from, or behemoth. So created every beast and every creeping thing on the earth. ואחד כל זאת עשה את אדם זכר ונקבה עשה אותם. So ואחר, and after כל זאת, and after all this, עשה את האדם זכר. He made God made man, or God made humanity, Zacharu Nekeva, male and female, Asaotam. So he made man. Male and female, he made them. V'yishmahu l'roda v'chol asher al haaretz v'asher beyamim v'ba'of hashamayim v'chayot haaretz ובהמה ובכל הרמס הרומס על הארץ וכל האדם לכל זאת עשה אותו לאדון. So Vayisimhu, and he placed them Lerodat to go down. No, he gave them and he placed them, or he appointed them Larda to lead, maybe. To lead B'kol Asher Al Haaretz, all in all that is upon the earth, the Asher Beyamim, and all that is in the seas, Uba and all that flies, Hashamayim in the heavens, Uba Chayot Haaretz, in the life of the earth, Ubehema and the beasts of the field, or cattle, Ubechol Harames Haramos, and every creeping creature, Al Haaretz, upon the earth, Uvechol Ha'adama, and every and in all the earth, to all this he made to all this made him to the Lord. All this he gave for dominion, or for lordship. ואת ארבעת המינים האלה עשה ביום השישי, והיו כולם שנים ועשרים מינים. So, okay, this is interesting. So now we're getting back to 4. So ve'et arba'im haminim. So, and these 4 kinds, he create asa bayom hashishi. He created on the 6th day. Ve'yehu kulam, and it was that all shneim has ve'esrim. So all 2 and 20, all 22. Wait, 2 and all 22 kinds. So, any thought on that?
No, it's just like 22 kinds was made me smile.
Yeah, it's interesting. It might even be paralleling this idea of the 22 letters of the alphabet. So let's see. So that was 4 divided into 22. So how would you even do that? It's not a perfect division. It'd be like 11 and 11, so it'd be 5.5. Interesting. So, let's see. Where are we on? Okay, so 26. So, let's see anything good. What was it? Oh yeah. ויכל את כל מלאכתו ביום השישי את כל אשר בשמיים ועל הארץ ובימים בעמקים את אשר באור ובחושך ובכל ויעש לנו אות גדולה את יום השבת כי 6 ימים. Anyway, so Vayachol, and he finished at Kol everything Malachta that he had worked B'Yom Hashishi on the 6th day, at Kol Asher, everything that was in the heavens, Bishamayim ve'al haaretz, and upon the earth, Ubayamim, and in the waters, Uba-emakim, and in the depths, at Asher Ba'or, and that in light, or in darkness, or in everything, and in everything. Ve'as lanu, and he gave to us an ot gedola, a great sign, et yom hashabbat. He gave us a great sign, the Sabbath day. Ki sheshet yamim, because 6 days, nasa kol malacha, because in 6 days, so 6 days we work, kol malacha, but all work, so kisheshet yamim, because on 6 days we work, kol malacha, we do all work. Yom hashvi'i, but on the 7th day, neshavot, we rest, mekol malacha, we rest from all work, kol malachi, all our work. Oh no, so we rest from all our work, kol malache, and all the angels, hapanim, of the presence, v'chol malache hakdosha, and all the angels of sanctification. It's interesting, isn't it? But it's a weird transition from one to the next. It almost seems like it's saying that keep Sabbath on Sunday. Like, it almost seems like there's this blurring of the lines between humans and angels, but that might just be something that I'm not understanding.
I think it's like that. He created the angels on the first day, and the humans and living creatures on the last day, last work day, let's say. And seventh, we don't count. Seventh is the day of the rest. Like, so first day would be the angels, and the sixth day would be the humans. And on the seventh, it's almost reminds me of that. At the first and the last will be equal, and the Jubilee will be eternal somehow. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Just brought me those thoughts.
Interesting. So let's see. So Aleinu el shnei haminim. So wait, Aleinu for us. Wait, Aleinu would be upon us or to us, el shnei haminim, to us, to two of the types, hagdolim, two of the great types, two of these great types, or these two great classes, Amar et hadvar, he said this thing, ki nishmor, because, to protect, we protect et Yom HaShabbat, so that we protect we keep the Sabbath day, ito b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, in heaven and on earth. Look, these two great classes, he hath hidden. Where's this word for hidden? Amaret devar. I don't see this word for hidden. Ha'ele amar et hadvar hazeh ki nishmor. Maybe it's he is protected at. He has hidden us. He has protected us for the Sabbath day for us. I don't know. It's a weird translation, but it almost says like to keep the Sabbath with him in heaven and on earth. It almost seems like it's saying the angels are keeping Sabbath with God in heaven as people are on earth. Is that? Are you getting that from that at all?
Yeah, it's directions now. It's like this contrast, heaven and earth. Heaven is angels with God, earth is with people, and the Sabbath, which should be in the middle, it's actually now with heaven, the angels.
Mm-hmm. So, Vayomer alein. ויאמר עלינו הנה אנוכי מפלה לים מקרב העמים אשר יחגו את יום השבת גם הם. So let's see, and he said to us, behold, I am mifla, I will cause myself to go down, or I will fall myself for you. Behold, I will separate unto myself a people from. So, I will fall, discriminate, separate, maybe distinguish. It doesn't. I will fall for. So I will fall for a people. Im mikrav hamim, for a people amongst the peoples. Asher yechugo, that circle, that make pilgrimage at Yom HaShabbat, to the Sabbath day, gam hem. And these will keep. This is interesting. So it's saying, so I have fought, like literally, I have mifle, I have fallen, or like fell.
No, I thought it's the actually creation of the soul. He unites angels and people by he will separate, like I don't know if it's exactly, but in English it's translate whatever they write here. Behold, I will separate unto myself a people from among all the people, and this will keep the Sabbath day. So in order to, because the Sabbath somehow went with the divine creatures into heaven, in order for humans to uphold the Sabbath, the God has to come down and separate himself onto many creatures and be among the people, but separated, as if a piece of God should go into each person in order to to keep the Sabbath somehow.
Yeah, that's actually
it might be like soul creation or something.
that's actually very close to the idea of the Shekhinah, or like the indwelling presence of God. But another thing, so you're right. So here it says mufle, to discriminate against, or to choose, like to choose from amongst. So so I have chosen for myself a people from the midst of the peoples that that Yechogu, that they will make pilgrimage at Yom HaShabbat, to the Sabbath day, Gamhem, also them. Wait, what?
Oh,
that
he
doesn't
will not be among all people. He will just choose a couple. Okay, convenient a little bit.
No,
but
I
okay.
don't think that's what it's saying. So here it's saying, I will choose a people from amongst the people that circle, or that make pilgrimage to the Sabbath day, also them. So it almost says like he's choosing them for, like it's saying that multiple people observe the Sabbath day, which is true. I mean, like for instance, the Romans had, was it Saturna, or no, Saturna was a holiday, but basically that literally Saturn's day, that it was associated with Saturn. And then you have in what is it in I forget what it is in Norse tradition, but yeah, it says Gamhem, also them. So it seems like it's implying that they also keep the Sabbath, but that there's something different or something. So the Hakdashti, and I will sanctify. Wait, hold on. I think need to think of a new tune. What was it? Actually, here I'll just put on some music in the background. That way I can get in my head. So, oh, never mind. I just looked it up, and then now I have a tune. So והקדשתי אותו לי לעם, ורחתי אותו כאשר הקדשתי את ימי השבת, וברכתי אותם כנברך אותו, ויהיו לי לעם, ואנוכי אהיה להם לאלוהים, אהיה להם אלוהים. So, and I will sanctify them for me, to be to the people, and I will bless them, as, or like as I have sanctified just as I have sanctified the days of the Sabbath, and have blessed them. Yes, I will bless the same. I will bless them the same, and they will be to a people, and I will be and I will be lahem for them to God, or I shall be their God. Any thoughts on this? There's definitely some parallelism going on.
I don't know. It feels like he chose several people. Sorry, it's loud in my place.
So yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, the whole idea of like sanctifying the Sabbath day, it's not just Jews who do that, for instance, but at least here what I'm getting from this is, I will bless them, and so I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and will bless them as I have sanctified the Sabbath day, and do sanctify it unto myself. Even so, just as I bless them, and they will be my people, so I shall be their God. So here it's this idea that, like, in heaven as it is on earth. So he blessed the Sabbath day in heaven, and he's blessing the people on earth.
Yeah.
So the avchar, and I've chosen the avchar bezara Yaakov mikol asher rahiti ve'akatuv oto li lebnei bechori ve'aktish oto li leolam ve'ad. So and I will choose in the seed. I have chosen in the seed of Jacob, Mikol Asher, from all that Mikol Asher Raiti, from all I have seen, the Akatuv, and I have written Oto upon him, Li, in him, Libnei Bechori to his chosen children, and have chosen his children, and I have chosen his children. The Akdish, and I will sanctify. I will sanctify him for forever and ever. So I've chosen the seed of Jacob from amongst all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him unto myself forever and ever. So let's see. ועלמד את יום השבת למען ישפטו בו מכל עבודתם. So let's see. And I will teach the Almadam. I will teach to them at Yom HaShabbat, the Sabbath day, lema'an, so that yishpatu, so that they will rest bo mikol avodatam. They'll rest from rest in all their works. Yeah, I need to choose a different song, so I'm just going to see. Let's see. Oh, okay, there's another one. So Vayasambot ki yachugu gam hemamanu et hashabat bayom hashvi leochol velashatot velavarach et asher bara et hakol. So and he placed in them a sign that that will make pilgrimage, or that will celebrate also, that they will also celebrate Imanu with with us at Hashabbat, with us the Sabbath. Celebrate the Sabbath with us b'yom hashvi, on the seventh day. V'achol v'lishtot, to eat and to drink. V'livrach et asher, and to bless et asher, to bless that which was created, to bless all that was created, or bless the one who created all things. Any thoughts?
God. Yeah, he already grows from the creation into giving power to special people like Jacob. I see here the son, and who will be a teacher as well, who will teach the word of creation and the Shabbos to others. And then he created the sign, which they should keep. So basically, tradition. To hold the tradition. Ariel, I also have to go. I have the family thing. Very loud here. If you can hear.
All right. Take care.
Thank you so much. And thank
course.
everybody for watching. Bye.
Bye. So probably going to finish this because we just have 20 more. I'm just going to power through it. But I do also have to use the restroom, so I'm going to put on something in the meantime. I'm going to find a video that is relevant to this. Let's see. Yovel. Maybe the mistake was I was looking for it in English. I need to find it in Hebrew. Yovel. Let's see. Should not be this hard to find something on the Yovel. It's like literally that much easier to find something on Jubilee than Yovel. Okay, Yovel Jubilee maybe. What's this?
My name is Shoshana Meira Friedman. I am a rabbi at Temple Sinai of Brookline, Massachusetts. So a dominant image of the environmental movement, or if we think about Earth Day posters, shows human hands surrounding or holding a globe. And I used to take this for granted as a beautiful symbol, which it is, and it's certainly a step up from the idea of humans subjugating or dominating the Earth. But I also now believe that it's a bit problematic. First of all, because in these images, we see the Earth as though from space, which is beautiful, but we don't see the specifics of any one landscape. There's no sense of loyalty or connection to a specific place on the planet. And second of all, in this image, we are the ones in power. We're the helpers. And the earth is sort of this helpless thing that's in our care, or perhaps you might say even in our possession. It's certainly not an image of partnership, even if it is trying to be an image of responsible stewardship. And then third, which is very interesting to me, this image that we see of this hands holding the earth is completely disembodied. The hands aren't connected to any person usually, and certainly they're not connected to the planet that they're coming from. When we think about what happens in Vayikra and Leviticus, when God says, we cannot sell the land in perpetuity, ki li haaretz, because the land is mine, the land is God's. When I hear that verse applied to this image of the hands holding the earth, I start to see the earth, the globe, just expanding and becoming huge. And I see the hands getting smaller and smaller until they are in the arms of a person who's standing on a street corner, or perhaps digging in a garden, or walking a dog, or looking in the park for schach, for Sukkot. And then I trace those hands back, and a few billion years, there's some cells coming together out of this hot chemical mess of the primordial planet. Ki li haaretz, God says, the land is mine. God's voice is reminding us that if the land belongs to God, then so much more so we who spring from this land belong not only to God, but from the soil that we've come. One of my favorite quotes from the source book that Shua created for the Yovel, for the Jubilee, is from the Sifra, where it says, Al ta'asu atzmechem ikar, do not make yourselves foremost. I also think the translation, you're not such a big deal, or it's not all about you, might work for that Hebrew. In other words, the land is mine means that this whole story is not just about us. We are Adam. We come from Adamah. We come from the land. We don't exist without this place. We are not hands that are disembodied that are somehow protecting the earth as though from above. We are earthlings. And though we don't have roots, the elements of our bodies literally sprout out of the soil of this earth. There's a book called Scripture, Culture, and Agriculture by the biblical scholar Ellen Davis, and it's had a big influence on how I understand Tanakh and the Hebrew Bible. She argues that the Tanakh is an agrarian text. And the word agrarian means that it is a text that is concerned primarily with the relationship of people and the particular land on which they live. She writes, and this is a direct quote, that the Bible as we have it could not have been written beside the irrigation canals of Babylon or the perennially flooding Nile. In other words, this is a place that is dependent on rain. It's a place that has seasonal aridity, periodic drought, it has thin topsoil, it's susceptible to erosion. And this is another direct quote, these mark the land of Canaan, writes Davis, as a place under the immediate particular care of God. This particular land, not the whole earth, not something disembodied, but this particular ecosystem is joined to us as a Jewish people. And we can understand that the ancient Israelites who created the Tanakh were concerned about this land ethic. All of the language of covenant is connected to how healthy the land is. When we have drought or flooding, this is a sign that our behavior has not lived up to what God expected of us, that we've been in breach of a covenant. And again, this is so different from those disembodied hands of Earth Day. It becomes even more poignant when we apply this thinking to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, because one of the great tragedies of that conflict is that the question of who gets the land, who possesses the land, has become about demographics and nationalism and identity instead of what I think it was originally about, which was a sense of divine connection to a particular landscape, a particular soil and mountain and sea. And both Jews and Palestinians have loved this spit of land for generations, and both have tilled it and harvested from it and lived and died on it. And both profess to love the land itself. When I look at what's happening in the land of Israel, both inside and outside the Green Line, in places that some call Israel and some call Palestine, the sprawl of buildings, the draining of the rivers, desertification, the uprooting of trees, the destruction of springs and water sources, and the unjust distribution of water in the West Bank, problems with toxins, the distressing amount of litter that's left by Jews and other tourists on Israel's trails and parks. When I look at all of this, it looks a lot to me like those in power love the location of Israel. They love the general concept of that spit of land that is between the continents of Africa and Asia and Europe, but they don't necessarily love the land itself. And it certainly looks to me like the Israeli government wants room for Jews to live in the landmass that we call Israel and Palestine, but that the actual land itself and caring for that land and the people who depend on it is not necessarily high on everyone's list of priorities. The question, I think, should never be who owns the land. And we should know that as Jews. We should know that from Vayikra, Ki li haaretz, the land belongs to God. But the question can be who loves the land. And who has the knowledge and wisdom to live well on the land and to teach others to do the same and to stay in that covenantal relationship with God and the land? And I hope and I think that the answer to that last question are people who identify both as Jews and Palestinians. And I so deeply wish that these two traumatized peoples could come together over their love of this land instead of having that love be what drives them apart. When land is subjugated and when we fall out of this holy relationship of mutuality with land that the Tanakh asks us to be in, history tells us it is never far off that people and other creatures will be subjugated too. And when a people who have lived and dwelled in a land for generations, who have tilled it and planted trees and found water sources, when those people are subjugated, it is rarely far off that the land will be degraded as well.
Interesting. So let's go back to, where was it here? Give me one moment. One. Let's see, this should work. Let's see. Hashem barach gam hu oto vayikdashehu lo le'am la'amon mod berosh kol ha'amim velo chug etanu yechadiv et yom haShabbat. So, and as he is blessed, also he will, as he has blessed them, he will also he will also sanctify them to a people, lamod, to stand berosh at the head, kol ha'amim, to stand at the head of all the peoples, velachug, and to like pilgrim or to celebrate, etanu, to celebrate with them or with us, yachadiv, that they should celebrate together with us at Yom HaShabbat, the Sabbath day. Ayas ki alu pakodiv lifnev lareach nichoch laratzon לפניו כל ימי שניים ועשרים ראשי בני אדם עד יעקב עד יעקב. So and he made he made it to go up, Pekudiv, he appointed to go up, Lefanav, in front of him, Lareach, a smell, Nichoch, a pleasant smell, Leratzon, to Leratzon Lefanav, like favorable before him, Kol Yamei Shnaim V'Asarim. So all the 22 days, Roshi B'nei Ha'adam will be the head of all humanity, or of the children of Adam. Yeah, so all humanity, of humanity until Jacob. So these were 22 heads of mankind until. Okay, interesting. So it's saying like 22 people, figures I'm missing. Here, I need to change the tune. I need to ideally find something that doesn't have any lyrics, because then I want to turn it down so. Oh, this works. It's not a traditional song, but it is a very delightful one, and it fits Julie. Let's see. בשניים עשרים מינו ומלאכות נעשו עד היום השביעי הזה, יום השביעי הזה. So, and 22 minu kinds of melachot of labor. Nasu we will do ad hayom until the seventh day. Until the seventh day. היום הזה מבורך ומקודש וגם האישה הוא מבורך ומקודש. So today, this day will be, this day is blessed, and this day is holy. V'gam ish hahu, and this man is also blessed and is also holy. It says in the former, but it literally says an ish, the man. Interesting. Oh, wow. Well, this is an example that Jesus was looking for. He was looking, Jesus, I'm going to text him this. This is an example of a man being referred to as holy. The question is, who is the man? I mean, I obviously know what he's going to think, but, and I respect that because that's his belief. I wonder what it is in the original context without looking to Christology. Let's see. When you're looking for messenger. Here, let's see. This is huge. I don't know why it gets translated as former. Probably because maybe it's the. I really don't know. Let's see. Undo. Okay. Send. שניהם גם אחד לקדושה. ושניהם גם יחד לקדושה לברכה. So Vishnehem and for Vishnehem, and they change or Shana, and they appear or no they, and maybe they're two also together. Kedusha for holiness and for blessing, and this one with that one for sanctification and blessing. It's interesting. I'm not sure. Definitely something to look into later. And I'm going to do the song again. Let's see. This one might be good. Maybe this. This word. Nah. Chopi. Nah. No, it has lyrics. Maybe if you. This is a really good song. Assuming it doesn't have lyrics, I'll use it. Nah, dang it. I might use this. Nah. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's right. I can find it. Here, this one. והיה יחיותה מברוכי קדשי ועבוד והתרועה כאשר כי את יום השבת ביום השביעי, יום השבת ביום השביעי, יום השבת ביום השביעי. So, and Jacob and his seed were to be eternal, were eternally chosen and holy, the witnesses of the Torah, as I sanctified and blessed before them before them the day of the Sabbath in the seventh day. Let's see. So be blessed in the holy ones of the first testimony and law, even as he had sanctified and blessed the Sabbath day on the seventh day. V'yivra et hashamayim v'taret et kol hadibara v'sheshet yamim v'yad. Adonai Kadosh lekol meroav, Kadosh lekol meroav, Kadosh lekol meroav, Kadosh lekol barav. So he created the heavens and the earth and all that he created in the 6 days. Ya'ad, and until God celebrated holy and to all thereof, all his works. Oh, so he made this update. One second, just gotta. So where are we? So. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, this should work. על כן ציווה עליו את כל ברואיו, כי ימותו כל מכללו, מות ימות, מות ימות, מות ימות, מות ימות. So, therefore, tzivah alav, I've commanded upon him at kol baroav, I've commanded upon all that I have created. Therefore, he commanded upon all that he created that yamutu kol machalal, that all that is defiled will die. Mot yamut, surely die. One second. I'm just going to send the link to this. So this Book of Jubilees, we're on 42. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, It's probably referring to Jacob. I'm guessing it's in reference to Jacob. The idea of personification of a collective. ואתה צורת בני ישראל כי ישמרו את היום הזה לקדושו ולבלתי. Now this is too fast. I need to change it. Batsuri maybe? Here. So. כן ציווה עליו את כל ברא. Oh wait, I read that part. Sorry. ואתה צאו את בני ישראל כי ישמרו את היום הזה לקדושו לבלתי לעשות בו כל מלאכה ולא יכלוהו. So and you and therefore what's so hence or no and you I command you vatat so at and you command you and do you command you the children of Israel that they protect at the day this day likdosho to sanctify it libility so that it is right what's this so that they do not asot bo do in it kol malacha do any work velo yechaleluhu and do not defile it. Yeah, this is way too fast and loud or high for me. Let's see. This should be good. Unless this is like. Oh, it does have lyrics. Shoot. Oh, but this is perfect. כי קדוש הוא מכל הימים וכל מתמות יומת וכל העושה בו מלאכה מות יומת לעולם ועד לעולם ועד לעולם ועד לעולם ועד לעולם ועד. So ki kadosh, because it is holy, because it is more holy than all the days and all mitamemu and those that profane it mut yomet mut yomat they will surely die. V'chol ha'oseh and all those that do bo in it malacha work they will surely die le'olam va'ed for eternity and forevermore. Okay, that's kind of dark. Leman yishmaru b'nei Yisrael et hayom hazeh ledoroteihem velo yikatu min haaretz. So according to so that they will guard so that the children of Israel will guard the day this day and their descendants will not be cut off will not be uprooted min haaretz from the land will be not cut off from the land. Ki hu yom kadosh ve'yu baruch v'chol ish asher yishmeruhu vayishvot bo mekol avodoto yeh kadosh ve'baruch le'olam kamono. So Kihu Yom Kadosh for it says here that it is a holy day, but I do wonder if what context this is because but it can also be he as in she. I don't know because the Shabbat day is definitely understood as women. So because she is because she is a holy day and a day of blessing or a blessed day, and all men and every man or everyone that Yishmeruhu that observes her Vayishavot and Vayishvot and rests in it Mikol from all of Avodto from all his work Yihye Kadosh he will be holy Vebaruch Leolam Kemuno and he will be blessed for eternity like us. Interesting. ואתה עונה ובא לבני ישראל ואת משפט היום הזה כי ישפטו בו ולא יזנחו אותו בשרירות נאמם בשירות נאמם. One second. Sorry about the notifications. We're almost done here. So, and you, what is this? And you will know, Hoda, you'll know or declare, Ube'ar libnei, you will come forth or break forth to the children of Israel at you'll break forth the judgment to the children of Israel this day because they have dwelled in they have rested in it and not yaznachu yazan and they have not forsaken it bishrirot in the error of their hearts. Lemal yasu modevar mekotzachechem velo yasu bo kol me'ochal asher yochal v'chol mishka asher yishtah. So the Baal and therefore is not do not yasu they will not do in it the thing from all tzarich all that they need for that all that they need and they will not do in it all ma'achal they will not do all they will not make any food that is made and all mishkat all drink maybe all drink asher yishta all drink that is so they should not prepare thereon anything to be eaten or drunk. Velo yishvatu mayim velo yishu bo min sham lehotzia velehavia besharehem im lo hakinu lahem devar בששת הימים במושבותיהם. So and lo yishavu and it is not lawful I'm guessing saying let's see yashavu to draw out mayim velo to draw out water and do not draw out or do not bring in it's do not lift up in it masa do not lift up and carry leotzia to go out lehavaya or to come in b'sha'arehem in their gates if there is not hakinu established lahem for them a thing b'sheshet yamim that they have not prepared for themselves on the sixth day in their dwellings or in their in their dwellings. ודבר לא יוציאו ויביאו ביום הזה מבית לבית כי הוא קדוש מבורך מכל ימי היובל ושנות היובל מכל ימי היובל בשנות היובל. So v'dvar lo and they shall not lo yotzia, they shall not bring out a thing v'yaviu, and they shall not bring in on this day from their house or to their house because it is holy and blessed from all the days of the Jubilee and the year of the Jubilee. Oh, for that day is more holy and blessed than any Jubilee day of the Jubilees. Interesting. בו שבתנו בטרם יגלה אוזן אנוש לשבות בו על הארץ. So in our Shabbat before Yagla, before it was revealed Ozen to the ears of man, or to the ear of man, lishbot, to rest, or to keep, but to rest in it, all upon the earth. Ubaruch kol hayakum, barach oto acheno, kidash kol matai haled vekol hamim neshavot. Bokim et Yisrael avdo. So, and the creator of all that is established, blessed it, achen, but did not sanctify all which haled, which would be brought forth, or which would cheled, which would be made, the kol ha'amim, and all the nations, lishvot, to rest in it, because you, the Sabbath, Yisrael levado, he did not sanctify all the peoples and nations to keep Sabbath thereon, but Israel. I don't know the context of that, but לא לבדון נתן את יום השבת לאכול ולשתות ולשבות בו על הארץ. So to him alone is given the Sabbath day to eat and to drink and to rest in it and to upon the earth. And so we're almost done, but I am just going to switch to the song because it's getting a bit old, as much as I love the song. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just do Shir Amalek. So, ויברך אותו בורא כל היקום אשר ברא את היום הזה נברא ולקדושה ולתהילה על כל הימים ולקדושה ולתהילה al kol hayamim. So as he blessed it and created all that is established and that is created, created this day livracha for a blessing, and for holiness and for praise upon all or over all the days. So all the things bless this day which he had created for a blessing and a sanctification and glory above all days. Zot HaTorah v'Hadot Morasha לבני Israel Chukat Olam לדורותם. So that's the second chapter of Jubilees. So this is the Torah and the testimony, Morasha, projecting point, that was given as an inheritance, Libnei Israel, to the children of Israel, Chukat Olam, an eternal law, Lidorotehan, unto their generations. So, yeah, that this definitely seems to work a bit better, just kind of going through text much faster. Probably should start earlier, but whatever. So, have a good morning, everyone, and take care. And see you next time. Oh, yeah. Take care. End off on a, let's see, where is it? Yeah, here.
Want to tell the Rebbe the words of the new song that we're singing with Mashiach, right? So I'm just going to read him. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Okay? We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. Oh yeah, Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be this year. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to.
Yeah, actually, I'm just going to play the full clip because you get a lot better there. Let's see. Here.
ובald dort gefinnen sich Ktani. Liefne Bar Mitzvah, Bas Mitzvah, was mit dem sich ist mit sehr Chinuch in der Nähe von Homo. Und man kann sich sehen, nicht aufhalten zu leicht, warum sie seien doch nicht. Man kann noch zu matteln sich, wie man mattelt, Gdelen Bishonim, wird man früher anheben mit sehr Simcha. Und in der Mine, was bei das mit mir Song keine Geschbeines. Also will haben Mashiach und Davke Yiste, Davke Achsha, Davke Now.
Want to tell the Rebbe the words of the new song that we're singing with Mashiach, right? So I'm just going to read him. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Okay? Mashiach now, we want Mashiach now, oh yeah, I'm your soil, have no fear, no, she don't be this year. I'm your soil, have no fear, Mashiach will be this year. We want Mashiach now, we want Mashiach now, we don't want no way. We want Mashiach now, Mashiach now, we don't want no way. I'm your soil, have no fear, Mashiach will be here this year. Mashiach will be here this year. We want Mashiach now, we want Mashiach now, we want Mashiach now, we don't want no way. We want Mashiach now, we want Mashiach now, we want Mashiach now, we don't want no way.